get something for video, David?
Who's getting the echo? Sorry, I'm just checking. Give me 2 seconds.
That would be Ryan, our mod.
That was the wrong screen.
All right. Mic check. 1, 2. Mic check. 3, 4.
Actually lost the chat. I'm not seeing an echo anywhere, so we shouldn't be getting one.
Ryan, maybe it's just on your end. Who knows? Now a delayed echo. Ruh-roh.
Is it coming from all of our microphones? Are you hearing an echo of us as well, or just James?
I don't have an echo coming through when I play Twitch, though, with mute turned off.
A conundrum.
A double conundrum.
Good now.
Ryan saying good now.
All right, fair enough. So, when last we left our heroes, we were fixing some audio technical issues. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. This is episode 2 of our Legends of Logomancy D&D Twitch stream. Joining us tonight, you'll notice a new friendly bearded face. Eventually, we'll all have beards again. And I feel like Melissa's just gonna have like a ZZ Top beard. And or, in the spirit of ZZ Top, needs to change her last name to Beard. Because the drummer for ZZ Top is Frank Beard and has no beard. But that is what it is. How's it going, everybody? David, how's your week been?
Busy. It's been a busy week. My wife and I we actively have put an offer in on a house. So, we are a ball of stress right now. So I'm very excited just to play some D&D with some friends. That's
entirely okay. I'll try not to murder you tonight.
Excellent.
Tonight.
Yeah. For the audience's viewing pleasure, we commissioned a bunch of artwork, and it's not a finished product yet, but it was enough to get Hoots some bitchin' art, and for the sake, because I need to share this, David, could you jump us to roll 20 for a second, please?
Definitely. That's the wrong button. I even have them mapped. Oh my god, I love it. I love it so much. You have no idea.
Yeah. So Joellen, she's like, I didn't really know what to put for a patch, so I put Canadian flying people, like CFP. That makes sense, right?
CFP.
And it sounds like an official Canadian agency.
It does. It sounds like something 100% the Canadian government would call something.
Right.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Canadian flying people.
Oh
It's gender neutral too. I like it. I'm here for it.
It could also be a stand-in for like Canadians who fly planes.
Canadian farm pilots is another one that I saw, and I'm like, I like that one actually.
Well, actually, that might be what she actually named it, and I think it is, because I think that's Joellen.
I was gonna say it's Total
That's
Art
great.
Freak. Is that Joellen?
Yeah.
Because
yes,
I love your art. I want you to know.
Yeah.
I'm so into it.
So she has everybody is currently like sketched out, and if they all turn out this good, I'm just gonna be fucking stoked.
Oh my gosh.
So
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
No,
the concept art so far is amazing.
Yeah.
Melissa, how was your week?
Awesome. Sunny. Warm. It's good.
Sunny and it snowed yesterday.
Yeah, I was like
I apparently didn't. Really? Did I sleep through yesterday?
We spent the day outside hanging an owl and like filling. Oh, that was something bad. Hanging an owl in the trees.
It's April. I love any weather that comes our way. It's all fair game.
That's fair. Mac, how about you?
It was good. Our merger kind of is finished with work. Well, not finished, but we're in the office, and I can finally buy a ton of plants that aren't cat friendly because my cats will destroy any plant that isn't at plant level. So I got to be careful. So I went to the plant store this weekend and got a ton of plants. And when I say a ton, I mean like for my 60-inch desk at work, I think I'm going to have probably 7 like large plants. So it's gonna be a little forest. So that's gonna be good.
Okay.
Other than
I
that,
like it.
just working, doing doing that grind.
And our new player, Riley. How's
Hi.
it going? It's been a while.
It has. I'm very much so looking forward to this. Very much so looking forward to playing some D&D with some friends. So I can't complain.
Well, the last character that people experienced was Yuri. And
Yuri.
Yuri was amazing. Of a nondescript like origin.
Yes, of an
Lots of people
origin
love these.
that they might use potatoes for alcohol type things.
Probably. I
Yeah.
hear the Irish did it.
The Irish did it. Yeah.
It's
Yuri is a strong Irish name.
it really is. It really is. I'm looking forward to what you have for us.
I think I really like this character, and I kind of like the things we have planned for the future and things like that. So I'm very much so looking forward to playing in this campaign.
Yeah. And for those of us on stream, if you're catching the VOD at this point, there will be a couple of callouts to be like, now pause this and launch your music app of choice, because this is the background music that I have in mind that I can't play on Twitch. Sorry. It's a thing. But that's for the VOD people, because we're doing it live. And for those who might have missed out on all of the hundreds of notifications that I feel like I've sent all of the people in my life, on the 24th of April, we're going to be doing our second Make-A-Wish charity event live stream for the Dungeons and or the Dragons. We're going to be going live at 4 p.m. Sunday, April 24th. We're going to be playing 6 continuous hours of Dungeons and Dragons, revisiting our December game, revisiting our old characters. Tracy is going to be back playing Gwen. The guys have leveled up, and gals have leveled up a little bit. And at the end of the last game, you guys had saved the day and all that jazz. However, in the bowels of a dark forest, surrounded by hags, was Zobo the Frown, who you no longer have the ability to turn a dragon in for again to save them, because Zendervane the Blue pissed right off and was like, toodles, and flew off into the sunset. So we're gonna play 6 hours of D&D, and hopefully we've got a fundraising goal, I think, of $1,000 right now. I've had a couple of folks come and drop off some donations already in person, which was really cool, so I'm just going to throw it into Tiltify. It's all going towards the Make-A-Wish Foundation. We've got ours set for international, because everybody needs help, not just Canadian kids, but it's one of those things, But yeah, should be good. If you have a couple of bucks, we're going to be using the same format that we did before, where you can donate a few bucks and I'll get some dice to murder the players with, or they might get some dice to get advantage.
To not be murdered.
To not be murdered. Because we don't have a bowl, a fancy wooden salad bowl that I stole from my wife this time around, we'll probably get like an overlay on in OBS or something like that, or figure out something account. Yeah, and Mod, if you could throw a link to the Tiltify donation to the Tiltify campaign into chat, I would appreciate it. There's also a Facebook event planned, so it'll send you reminders if you use Facebook and are an old man like myself. With that, I think that's everything I had for getting things going. Talk Tyler, there was some overlays and stuff. We were going to be doing a just chatting stream.
Yes, there is. When do you want to be? When are we doing that one? You should let the people know.
Fortunately, it looks like we might have lost him for a moment.
There
But
DM down.
he's back.
DM up. You were prepping some just chatting overlays, so I'm going to do my best to probably Wednesday nights. I think is reasonable after our goblins go to sleep. Sign in and start updating some lore into our official World Anvil site. So what these clowns end up making real, I will furiously document onto the internet. And
We're not
then
clowns.
create a little bit of stuff, do some encounter building, that sort of thing for your viewing pleasure. And also because I need to do it anyway, I might as well do it on camera.
Yeah, you do.
Indeed.
Yeah.
With that, why don't we jump into our game of Dungeons and Dragons, and you can roll our intro of goodness. This is the time that you start saying titty sprinkles.
Ah! Loud noises.
Remember, we want you to play Dungeons and Dragons at your friendly local game store.
Or with
Yeah,
your friends.
I dug this artifact out of an old character sheet binder, and it makes me happy.
I mean, it's a really good poster.
It is. It came with the original DM screen for 5e. I don't know if the new one's compackaged with similar propaganda, but you know what? This is propaganda I can get behind.
Ah, yes, D&D propaganda.
I'm good for it. And then
Be a nerd.
because I'm talking about it anyway, our lovely mod used to have access to a blueprint plotter and printed me some 5x4 foot maps.
That is kind of beautiful. I kind of like those a lot.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the thing. So we're gonna rewind a little bit with the and we find ourselves a day or so before Agnes and Hoots made their arrival from Earth. Dern, you find yourself falling with a voice in your head that is distinctly not your own. Who are you? And in your own voice, you hear back, echoing through your head, I am you. No, you're not. We are too. Swell. We can ditch the bottom one and just keep the coat then. This'll be great. And you hit the ground hard. And as you go to pick yourself up, the tattered rags tear away from your massive, bulky frame. You could swear your previous outfit had enough material to continue being clothes, but it just couldn't contain your massive build, and therefore had no business pretending to be clothes anymore.
I stand fully up. I just stand up immediately. and start looking around the land while my head is spinning.
Before you stands a tiny little kobold, teal of skin, tiny little wings, and a tiny white tabard, belted at its slim little waist. Several bangles jingle from their dreadfully small wrists, and the little bells dangle from their yellow and gold horn tips. Earsvern is what you recall them called. The ones above. But you've never seen one of this color. For you are, of course, Iridar, the ones of dirt.
The proper ones, understandable. I look down to this small creature before me and I go, in my head, I say, I don't remember ever being this tall, but I mean, obviously I'm the one in charge here, and I look at the small one and I say, where have I landed?
And they, from their cross-legged crisscross applesauce form, look up to you and say, hello, Great One. I am Lasharius Nam Tilaku. Are you injured?
I look over myself. No, I am not.
I see you no longer have functional garb for the using.
I look down and go, definitely not.
Might I suggest a kilt for modesty? And they kind of flutter up a considerable distance to meet your eyes on their tiny little wings batting over and over and over and over again. Almost like a hummingbird.
Yeah,
Like a hummingbird.
little dragon hummingbird. Kobold hummingbird coming up. Yeah, I graciously accept the kilt, as it would be rude to present myself in front of people, I presume.
What you're given is it's like a 100% wool gray army casualty blanket, as like Earth people would recognize, and for you it's basically a beach towel.
Tuck it in a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, and she says, might I know your name, sir?
It's Dun Rupa. Yes. Strong.
Nice.
Strong.
What does she and our folks playing the home game see before them?
They see a, depending on who you ask, 7'2" dragonborn of silver scales, curling horns, and just massive built. Always wearing a smile, just exuding confidence of who they are, and just damn happy to be there, you know?
I like it. And she says,
Obviously just wearing a loincloth type thing. Yeah.
You have rags, and anything that was in your possession is basically tucked into those rags, dangling from your form.
Okay.
So anything that you might have had before coming from the place you previously were.
I immediately check my pocket with, while she's like looking away or something like that. I quickly check the pocket to make sure the puzzle is still there.
It appears so.
Good.
You see purple energy kind of ripple across her teal scales.
Mm-hmm.
And she kind of like breathes deeply as though she got wasabi up the nose. And it's like, oh, and she says, your name sings across my scales, fine one. You see, you have come to the womb, reborn to the world of Naylore, and are as a child to this place.
This was my destination. This is good.
Many have come before you, It is your burden and task to perform many great deeds in the service of all people, and bring glory to the ones above.
Just a giant smile goes across his face, and he's just, yes! This is what I am destined for. Where can I get some armor and some clothes, please? This is a little embarrassing to be up here. I would like to don some proper attire.
And she kind of looks at you quizzically for a moment and says, Come with me.
Lead the way, servant of the dragons.
She kind of like half cocks her head a little bit, gives it a shake, and continues fluttering on. Think like, look, I hate to reference the Phantom Menace in any way, shape, or form, ever. But in the same way, and
You just made Twitter so mad at us they're never going to follow us anymore.
that's probably the case. It's just like a floating blue creature with flappy wings floating at eye level, being like, "Hey, I fixed pod racer. What are you gonna do?" She does not have that voice. As you walk, and Lasharius offers to answer any questions you might have to the best of their ability.
I fully expect a full story of this land. Dear fair creature, please tell me, where am I? What is this land? I know I was traveling here on purpose, but where am I?
In the interest of fairness to both the audience and myself, she gives you a quick rundown of everything that Riley is now privy to after watching episode 1.
Yes.
And as you walk, so some snippets. Was there anything else you want to learn aside from what we covered with Agnes and Hoots and Quill?
I guess Dern's questions would be probably, he's overconfident. I can tell you that much right now. He's going like, no, I understand this world. I know what I'm about. And he's about to get a rude awakening probably very quickly. But yeah, he's just like, yes, this makes sense. I understand. Dern doesn't understand.
Dern doesn't.
Dern doesn't understand.
I'm getting massive like Ron Swanson vibes from Dern. It's like, this is turf and turf. A 16-ounce porterhouse and a 24-ounce strip. I know what I'm about, son.
Exactly the same kind of feeling Dern has. It's just like, yeah, I understand this world. I've only been here for 2 minutes, but I understand.
That is totally fair.
Yeah.
So yeah, they lead you up a set of big stone steps through town. It takes a little while getting your conversation in as you go. And after a brisk walk through town, you're led up what seems like 1,000,000 stone steps. Like it's pretty bad. Your feet are way bigger now than you're used to, and you might find it a little hard as you like. These are made for normal people shoes. They are not made for dragonborn shoes.
Dern is like 100% because he's following. He's being very careful, but if she ever turns back to talk, he's like trying to be more careful as he steps to not fall. But as soon as she turns around to talk, he's just like big chest puffed it out, like, yeah, let's do this kind of thing. He is so very unsure of his footing right now.
Yeah. Lasharius leads you through a large arched entryway into a well-lit stone temple. There are pillars that hold a massive arched ceiling up, and a stained glass curved at an impossibly angled dome in the center. It's as if by magic, because
Ooh.
lo and behold, bitches, there's magic here. And you hear coming from the back, "You wee batty lizard rat, what urchin have you scrounged up now?"
I turn to defend the lady's honor.
Before you is a squat, surly-looking boulder with facial hair. Nope. No, wait, he's a dwarf. He's
Ah, yes.
definitely a dwarf.
Of course, the dwarfs.
White beard, bald head, and just burn marks all over the place. He looks like he's been to hell and back. Sit down. I'm not gonna kink my neck staring up at you.
I stand. And I go, the greeter. Where's the trainer for this place? Or where is the head priest?
Right, and roll an initiative. Gotcha. I like it.
And Dern is dead.
So Mr. Argoth Nax casts a 7th level firestorm on, no.
And I'm just like smiling away, just standing there like expecting somebody taller, of course.
And for folks that caught episode 1, there was a small bit of banter back and forth of a small dwarf, not a small dwarf, just a dwarf, telling a dragonborn fool that he would end him. And I feel like that happens in the next like 5 minutes or so, give or take.
And at the end of the 5 minutes, Dern is sitting down in a chair now.
Yeah.
And he's just kind of like sitting like this, and he goes, "Okay, I understand. I misread the room."
Yeah. So walking back and forth, hands clapped behind his back in like a very strict sort of pose, and he's like, I feel like you're sitting cross-legged on a stone floor because they didn't have any chairs big enough to fit you.
Mm-hmm. No, of course not.
And he's like kind of up on a bench, walking back and forth like a big long stone bench, Pinky in the braining it a little bit. And he says, "My name is Argoth Nax, and you might come to think of me as your new god. Basically, it's my call on whether you see heaven or hell. And if you're worth any of the effort, that'll come out of the other side a capable individual. Bleh. Or you might die, and then we'll hurl your carcass from the mountain into the ravine out back and never think of you again."
Dern's already strong. Then he looks back right at him and goes, "Yes, I'm paying attention to you."
Now, last year tells me that little box of yours sparked is weird. And what the fuck is up with that?
My puzzle box? It was from a dear friend. Is what I can remember. And he puts his hand, not really thinking about it, just puts his hand on the box.
And where are you from, Vlad?
I'm from a plane called Eberron.
Not the first. Some folks have come through the womb from there, and other planes. Mostly it's that Earth?
Yes.
Words are strange.
It is a weird word. I do not like it.
Something about tea at Terry Pratchett's house in canonization, I think. So, he says, "Tell me a little bit about your intentions and what you plan to do here, knowing what you would know now." And hearkening back to Lash took some time and explained, like, people come here, they find themselves in bodies that weren't necessarily what they had previously. Some people from Earth, some people from other D&D planes.
Yeah.
The elemental plane of yogurt is strictly off limits because they put a block on it. They've stopped cleaning everything up.
I guess Dern kind of goes into explaining that he was sent here by his god. He was chosen to try and help them in this plane.
Oh,
He had a vision, and he decided to come here.
I see. Well, be that as it may, you'll find the cosmology here is similar. I know that certain deities and certain planes, Paylor and Omnator, that sort of thing.
Ah, yes,
Cord-
Paylor, the god of war, correct?
Not quite. Yes. Aspects still have deities, but sometimes they go by different names here. So I understand entirely if you may mix them up a bit.
Like Tiamat, the god of dragons,
And he
the
just
holy dragon.
stops for a minute and like has a 1,000-yard stare, and he's like, "Sure, yeah, that one.
Perfect.
And what have I done?" No. And at this point, like, and again for the benefit of the other players, you get a training montage just like they did,
Oh, beautiful.
and it's the kind of thing like, and again, so this is the first instance for the VOD people. Paul Stanley's "Live to Win" from that World of Warcraft episode of South Park, and so he runs you through channeling magics, and he's like, right now, you are nothing. You aren't worthy of divine magic coursing through your veins. But that doesn't mean that you can't have divine power coursing through your veins. You just can't cast spells yet.
Oh, okay. Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Like,
Okay.
you know,
want
there's
to
only so much I can
fight.
teach you in a month.
I want
So
to
he runs you through like, here's what I need you to do. When you hit something really hard, I want you to think about hitting it even harder in a split second as you hit. You have to make that decision for yourself. Do I need this thing to be hit even harder than I did before? And if so, your god will listen to you.
Ah,
And
yes.
You will bring down their smites into that blow, and
Beautiful.
it'll be hit really, really hard.
Dern is all about this. As soon as this is said, he's just like, "Yup, let
And
us smite something bad."
And you'll find that if casting spells and putting your stamina and energy into spells, it doesn't suit your purpose, you just don't have to worry about that. And then you just take all of that energy and that machismo that you have, and you just hit things even harder than before.
Yep, Dern is very excited about hitting things very hard.
Welcome to low-level paladin training 101.
Yes.
And in the background, there's like, there's dudes swinging swords and wielding weapons and stuff, and they're all sufficiently armored. You've been outfitted with a very large hammer, a shield that is probably too small for you, but it's the best that they had on hand.
Oh, a buckler! Meanwhile, it's like a tall
yeah.
shield.
It's supposed to be like a targe or something. But you're like, this is sufficient for the moment, for training purposes.
Yes, the training shield. Meanwhile, they're like, we don't have a bigger one?
And they've put together, it's chainmail for all intents and purposes, but it's like cobbled bits and pieces. And at some point or another, you got like they're like, this is the only thing we have that'll fit them for right now, because they got tired of you wearing a blanket as a skirt, and they got you a big like half giant's trench coat, and
Beautiful.
you immediately flexed and the arms just like burst right off of it. So you've got one of those, like, you know, it's a sleeveless trench coat.
Do you parade around Hot Topic too, or?
Yeah, I mean, it is Dern's favorite place of purchase.
Is it
The Hello
sleeveless
Kitty
with a hood?
sauce, you know? Sorry?
Is it sleeveless with a hood?
Oh, hell yes.
Okay, all right.
He
so
has
you
to
can-
protect
you
his
can get
head from the rain.
full-on emo techno ninja. Gotcha.
Yes, yeah.
Dancing
With
Rupert.
giant...
Somebody was super bassy there for a moment. I think it might have been David. Nope. All right. Would have been Tyler. So behind you, you see a bunch of weebs yelling out their attack names as they do them. And things like I don't know if Darren carries a notebook of like, oh, I guess this is the custom here. This is the thing to do.
Oh,
And it's
100%, but everything is to the left.
like it's a dude, and he's got a spear, like a 5 silver piece spear, and he's like heaven piercing giga drill, and it's just like a sword, like a spear thrust. And a dude beside him is like mountain sundering quadra slash, and he takes like a short sword and it's like like the most weeby sort of thing to do.
I just look at
He
them
almost
very
drops
weirdly.
the sword when he does it, and you get the feeling it's like, oh, this is the thing to do. I see. You just call them out. There's a fella in red, kind of. It's not rusty. It's like a bright spray painted hot rod red set of plate mail.
Mhm.
And you hear loudly from the corner. He's like, so here's the thing. What you need to do is you take a great sword, and then you take another great sword, because then you have 2 great swords. And then you connect them with the chain, and then you got sword chucks.
Can I just smash him with my hammer? In training, of course. Not to kill.
In a train in. Oh, yeah. And he's like, yeah, he's like, I'll just show you the power of sword chucks. And he steps up and he's like, sword chucks, and he starts on like an 18-word diatribe about his attack game.
100% just smash him. And then I say the name of my attack after.
He's on the ground and seeking medical attention.
Yeah, and I just go, big hammer swing!
Oh my gosh.
And that's afterwards. I'm like, did I do it in the right order?
And Argoth says you absolutely did it in the right order. That is 100% the right order to do that in.
Good.
And he like this kid is bleeding on the ground. and he raises a finger and he's like, I yield. And he just like puts his finger down.
And I just go, good for you. You stood up to one of my attacks.
So yeah, that's for all intents and purposes, they run you through Paladin 101.
Mm-hmm.
They get you outfitted with some basic equipment,
Beautiful.
intro character stuff, and you are now a level 1 Paladin.
I have lay on hands.
You have lay on hands and a hammer.
Lay on hands and a hammer. I'm good to go. Where's the big
what-
evil bad guy?
What color Dragonborn are you again?
I am a silver dragonborn. I forgot to mention that. I am a silvered dragonborn.
And we're using the Fizzbands metallic Dragonborn.
That is correct. We are using the Fizzbands.
All right. So for the folks playing the home game, if you see him using his breath weapon a number of times a day equal to his proficiency bonus instead of once, that's why. Resistance to cold damage. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
So
And cold breath.
and cold breath. With that,
Or when your enemies eat too much minty gum.
Exactly.
you are coming through quite boomy and gainy, Mac.
Yeah, you're super hot.
Very hot.
Also, your mic's a little overpowering.
Yeah. Need to drop the gain on it just a smidge.
How are we doing now?
That's better.
That's better.
Just a titch down more.
I didn't actually do anything. I just turned it off and on again.
Oh.
No?
Lay on hammer.
Lay on hammer. I like it.
Are we good now, though? My mic's good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello.
Cool.
All right. We're gonna jump back as this is this takes place over the course of about a month or so, right? And a lot of it is just like getting you familiar with things. You found probably your favorite place in town is a place called Binny's Sword Boutique, where everything is so unique.
Did you say
And-
Binny?
Binny's, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And he's sore.
Yeah, and you go in, and it is 100% a dude, probably from like Portland, who's like, I blacksmithed in my spare time, and then I came here, and I can make claymores, and people will actually buy them. And it's just
That-
like Buster Sword TM, Buster Sword TM, like just
that is
like
such
the
a
most.
Vancouver thing.
If you were ever in a San Francisco store in the early 2000s where everything is just like a mix of like Klingon and samurai, that's this place. 100%.
Forget
So-
it. We're living in the womb forever. We're just never leaving.
There used to be an awesome store in Vancouver called Millennial. Anyway,
Yes, yes, there did.
Do you mean millennium, not millennial?
Millennium. Oh, I mean, millennials are the one who went there.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
Bunch of avocado toast and houses people can't purchase.
Can you buy this? No, but you can rent it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You'll pay more than you would have paid just to buy it outright. However,
For more of conversations like this, please see Alone Donuts TikTok. At some point, we should make sure that we get some socials for you guys because you have some amazing content, sir.
okay. Well, right now I'm trying to be tame because I'm supposed to be, but we'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah,
Tame.
some of the back end stuff. Sorry, some of the previous videos, not back end stuff. He doesn't do back end stuff on TikTok.
You have to go to our OnlyFans for that.
We don't talk about Bruno. No. So,
Moving right along.
moving right along.
Don't talk about no.
Mm.
So, Quill, you're awoken by a bird call from the base of your treehouse.
Yes, sir.
Boomy, 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 boomy.
We good?
Still a little boomy, but looking out the window, Farland looks somewhat worried.
All right. Let me know if it's too bad on my mic.
You are still coming through really hot. David, can we drop his levels a little in VDO, or is that a him thing?
No, I can do that. Give me just 2 quick seconds here.
Also, my mic volume is apparently coming through very low compared to the others.
Yeah, we're gonna boost you up. Can you talk for me really quickly here, Mac?
Oh, yeah. Hello. How's it going? I am Quill. Derpadur.
Derpaderpader.
That should be better.
Okay, now,
Derpader.
I mute it.
Episode 2.
Can I come back into my basey again?
No.
Hot.
You sound pretty good. How am I sounding right now?
You're good.
Louder.
You're boosted up, yeah.
Perfect. All right. So, yeah, Quill, Farland looks somewhat worried.
I kind of sitting curled up near my window because my windows are more at cat level, even though I can stand. I do notice Farland, and I kind of scramble down my tree the usual way I would, which, if you've seen a cat climb a tree, it's somewhat graceful. When you see a cat come down a tree, it's like a half run about half the way down and then an awkward leap at the end because they realize that they're going too fast. And I kind of roll out of it and I pop up and I scramble over to her and what's wrong?
And she kind of looks down and lays a hand on just the spot, the comforting spot that you normally are used to.
Mhm.
And she says, Jules was supposed to be back by now. He went to the south end of the lake to harvest some mistletoe for our groves. He took a special implement of mine, a sickle made of pure gold.
Oh, that's very shiny.
It is. You probably seen it. It hangs above my fireplace most of the time. It's integral to making sure that our home is safe and can expand, and that our influence stays here. If we don't get his harvest back soon, I'm gonna have to restart all that work near Agnes's house from scratch.
That's not good. That's way too much work to start from the beginning.
Yeah.
Well, I can just go get him. It's not that far.
Well, it's not like him to be tardy. So, would you be a dear and go see what's keeping him?
Absolutely. Me and Lou were looking for go for a walk for a while, so it'd be perfect.
Okay. Take Agnes and Hoots with you. It's a couple of days down to the bottom of the lake, so it might be dangerous along the way.
Oh, I was thinking of a very different lake, to be honest with you. That's a lot longer. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I can take people with me.
Yeah. Maybe get somebody from the Bennies too, please, just to be safe.
Well, most of them don't. Well, okay. And I kind of like shrug off and start heading over to Agnes's house. And I, as requested, I knock on the door. I don't just burst in.
There's no answer.
And at this point, I don't know what to do because I've always been told to knock, but there's always been an answer. And this time there's no answer. So I completely, the rules are now gone. I've done the rule that was requested. So now I just kind of claw at the door a little bit and make some noise first.
And the camera pans around the backside of the house where Agnes is dragging Hoots along by the arm and being like, and you see these ones can be brewed into beautiful teas, but these ones, oh, that tea will give you a completely different experience. I recommend the brown ones. And then we go, and she comes around and like, oh, hello.
By this point, as you see me, I'm literally like half opening your door and I look kind of down towards you. Like, oh, hello. This is, I followed the lock rule and then you weren't here, so I just kind of went in.
That's very polite of you. Thank you. I'm not in there. I'm over here.
Oh, yes. We've got a request from our friend. She wants us to go to the lake.
She looks over her shoulder at the lake, like 10 feet away.
Guess what I thought? And then she said it's the long lake, like days away lake.
Oh, that's farther.
So, for clarity, Agnes lives by a swamp.
I feel like the proper response in this situation would be, now I don't know how to tell both of you this. That's not a lake.
The lake that Hoots is intimately familiar with is the one that is immediately east of town, that borders most of the town, and is like the size of a great lake.
Oh,
Back where
We got some echo.
where are we getting echo out of?
Who is echoing?
who's echoing?
Hello.
Hello.
We might just have all been talking at the same time. It might have just been too many voices. It's all good.
Maybe so.
Yes. All right. Yeah, so I kind of explained to you what's going on. I'm like, she wants us to go. Excuse me. Wants us to go and pick up this guy because he has her thing, and if we don't have the thing, then we're not gonna get any food. And I really want food, so we need to get the shiny thing. And you're just kind of probably staring at me as I'm rambling on about absolutely nothing that makes sense. You don't know what the thing is. You know the thing is shiny, and that we need the thing to get the food.
Okay. Well, getting things. Okay, that sounds important. That sounds important. Anything else? So we're just going straight to the lake?
And I'm just like, yeah, sounds about right. There's nothing too crazy, she said. Just take you guys for a walk. Oh, sorry. Yes, one more thing. We're supposed to go and grab someone from town to come with us.
Oh.
Just anyone?
I figured I would just grab the first person we saw.
Now, I understand that you are young and Agnes is Agnes. I think it may not be the most savvy idea to just grab anyone.
Well, I'm not just gonna like grab.
You gotta ask first.
Well,
Of course we're gonna ask.
Quill, can you roll me an intelligence check, please? In order to do so in Roll20, all you have to do is click Intelligence above where it says 0 on your character sheet.
I'm just trying not to feel hurt.
It is okay. It is okay.
I did. It didn't do anything for you. Oh,
Yeah. All right. So, Farlin specifically said, grab someone from the Bennies, and your first instinct maybe was like Eggs Benedict, Bennies, and you're like, oh wait, no, I'm getting my wires crossed a little. She's referring to the Knights of Benediction, which is the affectionately known as the Bennies here in town. She's essentially they're the rusty armor people. They're very pungent, right?
And then okay, yeah. So you kind of paused after saying like you're not supposed to just grab anybody, and I was like, well, there's a problem. She wants us to grab the stinky people. Someone from the Bennies. And I'll tell you, my senses are a lot better than all yours, and they're usually a lot stinkier. Also, apologize, my voice keeps changing.
No, it's been consistent. It's good.
Now, pardon me now. I've never heard of the Bennies. Like and now you're telling me, one, we're going to a place named after breakfast, and then we're going to grab a smelly person.
Well,
now, out of curiosity, are they more druids?
Never judge anyone by first scent.
You don't smell as well as I do. I want to make it very clear. And secondly, it's not that everyone smells. That's just kind of the known. I know. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I've got a solution. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mash up all of these herbs, and she starts rummaging through. Starts rummaging. If I put all these in and you smell it, we're just going to kill your nose.
Now, before we do that, you've ensured 100% beyond any reason of a doubt, none of the different experience mushrooms or herbs have made their way into that for our little cat friend, correct?
I have a very thorough scientific process in which I sample and label and categorize all of my wares. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that would explain some things.
I'm going to kind of like put it around some cloth and be like, I'll take this if it's needed, but I'll hold it for now. Appreciate it though.
Maybe they
Add
won't
to
be
your
so
inventory. Plus
Smelling
1 potpourri
salt.
bag. It's a potpourri bag.
So yeah, so I just being who I am, I go, okay, anyways, and I just start walking towards town, thinking you guys will follow me.
You have more than a moment to grab the things that you need and make your preparations, but absolutely. Hoots, what were you doing here? I want to say it's been probably 3 or 4 days since your last, your recovery of Agnes's nerd dice bag.
Well, Hoots, I was honestly quite curious about my new friends, because anyone willing to help is a friend. So I had come around to just simply shoot the shit and have a great time, and then I got a in-depth exploration of all of the mushrooms. I am now far more familiar with which mushrooms I can eat and which ones I will eat while Quill's not around.
That is entirely fair. And the ones you'll eat in the safety of your room with colored pictures up on the wall, proper hydration, and some snacks.
Paladin lesson of the day: make sure you're hydrated.
Also, I just want to say, after that whole lay on hammer thing, all that's been in my head is like the Lay on Me song. It's just from repeating with lyrics related to lay on hammer. So if it took me a second, I was in my mind was like, "Lay on hammer," like just
I like
repeating
it.
the words in my head. So, thank you for whoever said that.
I love it. So, you gather your belongings. Hoots, you got to make it through town and swing by the kitchens anyways. You guys have been around. You probably, I want to say, Cal's likely had you fly something up to the Knights of Benediction, the Bennies, at some point. You just probably didn't pay attention to what it's called. He's like, the big fucking stone building up on the mountain up there with all the crosses and shit.
Or if it had been called the Knights of Benediction, that would have been like, okay, but Benny's, that's a breakfast.
Yeah, the Knights who
Their
brunch.
place is kind of like a Denny's at 4 a.m. anyways.
Right?
its own special world.
And the Bennies should not be confused with Binnies, which is, the place that supplies all the pointy sharp objects to the Bennies.
Noted.
We got Bennies.
Bonnies and Boonies.
Do we have a Bannies somewhere?
Copyright TM. Maybe Banny is going to be the name of Durin's hammer.
Bannies
we can-
Hammer Emporium.
Yeah, well, we can set up Nightbot to be like, Durin brings the Banny hammer down.
As Quill is going through the whole explanation, at one point, Agnes is going to go, "I'm sorry, did you say something about my house? Like, just Tim's important. We're not going to, starting from scratch, going back to the beginning, before I had a house. It took a long time to arrange everything just so. I think it's important. I think we should go."
And I kind of like peep up, and I'm like, "Yeah, we should probably leave. So get your stuff and let's go."
I am always ready to go.
Grab your shit. Off we go.
It helps when all I have is a bag and a dagger.
2 seconds.
Okay.
No worries.
Oh no, Hoots is gone.
Soaring.
Hoots
I'll be back.
needs to do some adjustments. Yeah. So you gather your things. Farland's kind of made her way off. Agnes, you've seen Farland every single day close to your house, not in your house, but close to your house. Every single day, she comes by with a big clump of mistletoe. And it's got a weird kind of moonlit glow to it. And 10 minutes every day, she sits and she pulls it apart and she takes a wisp and it kind of silvers around back and forth and she lets it go. And pulls another one and back and forth and lets it go. And it doesn't drift on the wind so much as it like catches the air and then disappears entirely. And as she does it, certain things start happening around your house. Thorny plants get a little thornier. The wind seems to cooperate. And it's never blowing in just the wrong way and like putting out an outdoor campfire or things like that. It never blows your hair into your face. There's
Which
always
is honestly a miracle. It's just everywhere.
yeah, it's just fantastic. And she's got a big mop of hair on her, doesn't she?
She does. It's very
Yeah.
curly. It's very everywhere.
Can that just be a thing in real life? Because when I'm at a campfire and I just get hit with smoke in the face,
No white rabbits.
oh my god!
Like the power of this druid lady's magic is specifically no white rabbits. No campfire smoke chasing.
I want to live in this world now.
Right? And every now and again, you'll find like you go to sit down somewhere, like you're collecting spores, and you go to kneel down, and it's just cushy and moss. And you're thinking about stuff, and you go to take a seat somewhere, and there's conveniently a stump there, and you're like, "Was that there before?" Ah, whatever. And Tim starts being a little more receptive to things again, and not to lay this on too thick. The house from Encanto, it's just like, oh, you needed a place to put that down, and there's a hook now.
When you treat things with kindness, they treat you with kindness.
That is how it works. Yes. Likewise, you see a long, shimmering wall of wind, about 100 feet up from where your house is. That seems to you really gotta stare and kind of let your eyes go out of focus, like those stupid puzzle pictures that I could never do.
I'm so bad at those. I can't do it. It's not a skill I have.
But if you go cross-eyed a little bit, it.
That makes me think of Chasing Amy.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I haven't seen that movie in forever. Also, Hoots, for your pleasure, Reign of Fire, starring Matthew McConaughey. Now you're thinking about it again.
Ha!
If you want to know what I'm talking about, watch our charity stream. The first episode's up on YouTube. So, she's been putting effort and magic into the area around your home, and that seems to be the thing that is the root of the issue. So, now that we have Hoots back, Quill, you said you start leading them out of the grove.
That is correct.
All right.
Bye, Auntie. Bye. Bye.
She gives you a wave through the window as you walk past her house.
Just staring creepily out at us. Half face covered.
Yeah.
Isn't she just the nicest lady?
Hairs in her eyes. She also shops at Hot Topic. No.
Yes.
I don't have the hair to do the thing anymore, so I can't. Yeah, I like that. So yeah, you start walking. It's not probably a good 15 minutes from where the grove is proper into where you start seeing other buildings, right? Just along a meandering path. Leads you back into the womb proper, and you've had a chance to catch up. Quill's probably filled you in on what Farland shared with him, give or take, unless you specifically haven't. Mac, that is entirely your choice.
No, I gave them the details of we have to go to the guy and get the thing. It's really shiny. If we don't get the thing, the food doesn't grow.
That wasn't what we said, but okay, I like it.
But yeah, we have to go get the sickle.
Yeah.
I'm just not giving a lot of details.
I know, I love it. So, while you're in town, you all have your starter gold and things like that. Not to be all shopping episode on you or anything like that, but is there anything specific that you guys would like to grab before heading up to the Bennies? And Dern, we can kind of retcon that you would have been able to pick stuff up yourself.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
Something for RP purposes or equipment based or things like that. Is there anything you'd like to grab?
Well, I don't have enough gold to really buy anything.
That's fair.
I think I have 10.
You do have 10. But for the basic equipment list in the PHB, there's, if Quill wants ball bearings or something like that, right?
Yeah.
If you have something that you will use for comedic value or otherwise, let me know.
Are there comedic? No, actually, are there any places that I'm assuming there's a place that sells arrows?
Yes, absolutely.
I am down 4 arrows.
You know what? How many arrows are on your character sheet?
20.
You have 40 arrows on your character sheet. Because
Okay.
I am not nickel and diming you on arrows.
Okay. Well, I was
If it
going to say, is there anyone that sells arrows that are funny?
Um,
And not by funny like haha funny, but just that do things that aren't just regular arrows.
Do
You mean
do
like
want-
a boxing glove?
That's what I was gonna say.
Well, no, like anything like arrows I can, buy a flint and steel and light on fire, or
You know, the majority of things like that would probably be down in the kitchens where Hoots is from, and I feel like if you wanted to use something a little more, we'll call them tricksy,
yes.
or a little less utilitarian, Hoots would probably be the guy to whip something up for you.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Well, that's fine. Then I'll just continue with my sack of arrows.
All right. So 40. Hoots, anything that in this fantasy realm of the Dungeons and or the Dragons you would have been going through?
Here's the problem. Hoots doesn't understand the fantasy world of Dungeons and Dragons, and I'm trying to play like him, like what he would know.
Okay. If we put Eric in a general store that had the adventuring gear list, that has like a block and tackle and a blanket and like fish and tackle and an iron pot and pitons and things like that, what would Eric pick out?
Oh, he'd pick out camping gear. He's got
Yeah.
I mean, he's got his Dungeoneer's pack.
He can see in the dark. A first aid kit?
Yeah, I was gonna say a first aid kit would definitely be something he'd carry with him. So basic medical tools, which I actually don't know if he knows how to use. He does. Okay, we're good. I was checking my wisdom quick. Yeah, he would probably also, a lot of the work he's been doing has been like little handwork. So, almost like a tinkering kit would probably be something he'd be after.
Okay. So I'll say you actually have tinkerer's tools on you, provided from the kitchens.
Okay.
Because I'm not going to ask you to pay for things that your class needs.
Okay.
That's a little bullshit. But
ooh.
yeah, so
Yeah, no, he's you know what? Basic med kit, like survival stuff, right? Like things that he
Alright.
would use to go on a camping trip back in the day.
all right. So probably healer's kit. Probably I think something like maybe a tent or a tarp or something like that.
A tent. He'd
yeah.
buy a full-fledged tent.
Yeah. And then your like tinderbox and a whetstone and a water skin and like camping gear.
Yeah.
Cool. Agnes, what about you?
Well, Agnes is always on the lookout for the next shiny thing or something that's just going to, that perfect little something to go into a corner of her shroom house. And as she walks by a little vendor that's got little trinkets here and there, she walks up and her eyes get big and she goes, "What is this?" And she snatches it up and it's a little kalimba. And she starts going, bung, 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 bung.
I love it.
And she looks up at the elven proprietor of this establishment and goes, "This is wondrous." Bung, 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 bung.
It's actually common.
And he's like,
Oh, that was good. I like that.
Took me a second.
Oh my god.
and he's like, It is the most wonderful instrument from across the lands. I'll have you know that this mystical instrument traversed the plains itself, having seen play in Exandria, in Faerun, and through the elemental plane of something or another. That being said, and he just like mumbles it for a second. This is for you today. This mystical artifact can be yours for 5 silver pieces.
Oh. I will tell you what. You see, she puts it down and she starts rummaging and she pulls out a little jar of purple crystals and then she pulls out a river rock and then she pulls out a very intricately, knobby little stick. Puts it down, says, 3 silver. And my wares.
Look, lady, I'm gonna level with you. This looks like you just shook it out the bottom of your boots.
I will have you know that I also came from a wondrous land, and I would like to trade.
Oh my, are you one of the? Oh, all right. Here's the gist. Oh yeah, no, I totally see it on you. I need something.
Okay.
I'm fresh out. It is called a generic brand ballpoint pen. And if you like, I can't keep them in stock, and occasionally people come through and they had it in a bag. Do you have a pen?
I start digging through, and from inside the bag's got maybe 3 or 4 various pens, and she goes through and she picks one that's about half out of ink.
You gotta lick it first. It's a feature, not a bug.
Yeah. And
Certain
Takes the
gaming
Like
company was here.
snozberries.
and hands one of the 4 pens she has on
Cool.
her person.
And he's like, "Instrument is yours. This is amazing. Thank you so much."
"You're so welcome." Dong, 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 dong.
He's like, "Don't forget your crystals and stick and shit."
Don't knock till you try it. Dong, dong, dong.
Just
Start-
leaves it on the counter.
Just leaves it.
I apologize. What did she get?
A kalimba, a little like hand harp that's like wang 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 wang.
Go on YouTube when you're like feeling kind of sleepy and put on some like kalimba stuff. It is very relaxing.
Oh, I know this stuff. It's actually kind of cool. Like it's just like
Yeah.
those like little metal pegs that you just like click down, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
What?
It's like a mouth harp, but it's
Yeah.
it's a hand harp.
Oh,
So
that's
your
so cool.
your kalimba does not have 17 keys. It has like 5. It's one of the like little tiny ones.
The tiny, tiny little ones with the wood
It's
base. Yeah.
it's a board with a bridge and 5 chunks of metal hanging off of it. Like it's not hollow, it's not acoustic, it's just like bass.
I walk up to the back of my party who's walking ahead of me, and I just get like 5 feet behind them and go bung, bung,
Yeah.
bung, bung, bung.
Yeah. So that's the thing now. What you're telling me is I have to make a kalimba version of the theme now.
Just
Eric,
once a
you-
I'm
month.
writing it
This is
down.
our next project. No. So you buy you trade and barter for a kalimba like a boss. Quill, aside from arrows, would there be anything that you would take with you? I'll just do a double check. Mirrors or pouches or sacks or things like that.
Not really. I'm not exactly, I'm new to this whole kind of ranger going out in the wilds and doing stuff thing. I'm pretty much new to everything. I'm new to speaking. I'm new to everything. So I've got my bag with my stuff in it, and that's pretty much all I think I need. Is it what I need? Probably not enough. But it is what I think I need, and I'm sure I will learn over time that I am wrong.
Agnes, I was going to check with you because you asked after the last game. You have 10 torches in your inventory. You had mentioned getting a lantern instead.
Yeah. Can I buy a lantern,
You can, yeah.
please?
Just
Thank you.
just for the sake of you can see 10 feet in the dark.
Yeah.
Produce
To
flame
not
and
use the
it's like-
spell every time I need to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So a hooded lantern will cost you 5 gold.
Got it.
And we'll say that you have some oil on you.
Thank you.
I won't charge you for that for now. For now. It's
Oil
there.
prices are going up here now. Come on.
Yeah, it's the thing.
Why do you think I moved to the Enchanted Realm?
As a fellow millennial, I will say housing here is very reasonable compared to where everybody else is from. Very reasonable. Like
I
seriously,
grew my
you had,
house.
you had a handshake. And you met 2 people, and they were like, "Let's just build you a house out of nothing."
Can't we just go back to those times? I mean, come on.
I've got a gorgeous bachelor pad all to myself, and I'm not even paying rent.
Speaking of which,
I live in a
actually,
temple with like 30 people.
that's a good point and well made, Hoots.
Oh no.
We should circle back to the general gist is that as long as you're useful and helping people, you have a place to stay at the kitchens. Everybody puts in a little bit of hard work and time, and if you're being productive, nobody gives you any grief about it.
Beautiful.
If you start being a big old pain in the ass, they might ask you to like move down to one of those wooden cottages. So all those Viking style wooden houses that are, like 10 by 20 like long buildings. You walk past them all getting over to where the kitchens are. Those are all people that they're craftspeople from around the town. And eventually they stopped being like, I live in a dorm, I'm gonna go build a house. And everybody gets together and builds a 10 by 20 longhouse for you to have some privacy and space and stuff. Because you share a wall with a really loud chewer.
Oh.
Like it's...
Wait, through the wall?
So his walls are like this thick, it's blast shielding.
Oh, no.
Unfortunately, the mythical land of Naylor hasn't invented double drywall just yet. With like
Sure,
rock wool.
that's literally my worst nightmare.
So, and I'm not going to apologize, but for the ASMR value, it just, and it's like, what are you eating carrots at 2 a.m? Did you eat 7 carrots and just decided not to swallow? What the fuck is wrong with you? And the guy's just like, I miss supper.
Yeah, this is roleplay.
Now this is roleplay. So,
You know what? We need to get invested in what we hear on the other side of the wall.
I live in an apartment. I don't want to get into that.
I that is, I've been there. So for all intents and purposes, you pick up the things that you need. Hoots, at some point in the future, if you want privacy and an abode of your own, it is something that we can look at. There's a bit of a monetary investment in doing so. But yeah, it's a thing. So you collectively be like, give me 10 minutes. I need to go see a man about a iron pot and a blanket and things like that. You come out, and Agnes is holding a lantern and a couple like clay pots full of oil, and Quill's got some extra arrows and things. And yeah, where to now?
Well, we were supposed to go to the Knights of Bean, the Knights that have been.
Yeah. Can I do what I did last time? Just kind of like spin around and point my finger and see if I'm pointing in the right direction again?
Absolutely. Roll me a d4. And you know what? Roll me a survival check, because you have that now.
No.
Spins around and immediately points back the way you came, into the forest.
Oh.
Now,
Agnes is a wanderer, just like, is like, and redirect.
And you see the finger kind of like move from here up to there, and you're now pointing at a large stone temple. Up way into the mountain there, and there's a long series of like a meandering path of stone steps that come down into the town proper, and it looks like there are probably a million of them.
well,
All right.
I
Pitter
do
patter.
that daily.
We don't. Hoots can fly. Yeah, I'm just gonna do that. I'm just gonna start heading.
Hoots is like, sucks to be you.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the stairs and I'm going to get down into all fours and just kind of start.
Going as fast as possible, like the thing in the basement is chasing after you turn the lights out.
Yeah, I know where I need to go. There's no danger. I'm in town.
but before I take off, and after watching Quill, sprint out of there, I'm gonna look at Agnes and go, Mama had a cat that acted like that when I was a kid, and I'm starting to understand a little bit more why we didn't keep it around in the house as much.
Oh wow, that is.
We had a bird once where I grew up.
No.
Just a bird? What kind of bird? Tell me more.
Well, as you know, I grew up on a farm. We kept a lot of animals.
I did not know you grew up on a farm. I'm learning all kinds of new things about you.
Well, you know, I never really took to living in the city. Mom and Pa moved us out there early, and I just never really took to it. So I stayed out there. And you have to be able to eat. It's fine. Everything's fine.
The world is on fire and she's drinking her cup of coffee.
Quill, you know, sometimes I find that when your animals are really excited, that it's good to just lean into that energy, let it build you up, and drive you into some new adventure. It's why I think you should really talk to Auntie a little bit more. She can tell you all sorts of things about the animals and the plants, and you are an animal now, technically.
I am most certainly not.
You are also a person. I'm also an animal.
Some random bystander that was just listening to your conversation is like, you played with raccoons as a child, didn't you? And then just turns and like keeps carrying on.
Trash panda. No.
Yeah.
He is getting relatively far away. See, the problem is I don't jump that high.
You are much faster at a base walking speed than the average human, and faster at a base walking speed than Quill is.
Really?
Yeah, you're at
Oh,
35
great.
and he's at 30.
I just have the ability to dash really far.
Okay. I was like,
Okay.
keep up and run.
Yeah. So you start hustling, and it's just like the jangle of running with a messenger bag. And eventually your shoulder's like, son of a bitch. And after a prolonged climb, so I will say, for the purpose of roleplay as well, like, Quill is just a naturally like dashy person. Feline agility is a combat ability, not for overland travel.
No, but I just mean like
Yeah, like world map stuff. We've had these conversations with people who played monks, and they're like, no, my overland travel, I can just dash as a bonus action. No, you're.
Yes, are you going to sprint all the way there?
Let me introduce you to additional exhaustion levels and see how you feel about that.
Let's be clear. It is a choice you can make. There are just consequences for that choice.
I feel like I had this conversation with our 2-year-old today. It's a choice you can make,
but
and see, it's like my parents. They're like, they took the approach of, it's not don't climb on the fence, you'll fall off. It's when you fall off, it's gonna hurt, and it'll be funny, but it's gonna hurt. It's like, I won't fall, immediately fall down.
I think I fell out of a tree one time because of that.
Yeah, I think any good Canadian-born folks have fallen out of a tree a time or two.
At least once or twice.
Time or two. So,
Pitter patter.
Pitter patter. As you climb these steps, you end up entering into the Bennies. And I'm just going to drag you over to Benny.
Ooh.
So,
Nate.
there we go. What you see around you are, again, what Dern has been witness to every single day at this point. Large, ornate pillars, beautiful skylights, polished floors, and the sounds of grunting and like as you kind of come in and you look off out to the side, you see like people doing squat thrusts and yelling at cord, and just like squatting as deeply as they can. And again, because it hasn't been beaten out of them yet, you see one fella, and he's got suspiciously spiky hair, and he looks
No.
like he's at like a punk rock show, and it's just like glued all the way up, and he's
I
got
was with all the weebs, wasn't I? Like all the weebs, not just those two.
and it's a sword, and it's got 4 blades on it, and they all go out. It looks like a fan, and you know exactly what this is. He's being silly, and he's yelling out just absurdities, and then he finally gets around to swinging his sword, and his training partner walks up to him and just grabs him by the face and just like puts him into the ground. And you see what did you say, 7'4"?
No, a 7'2", but I mean,
sorry.
Vern will
Sorry.
introduce himself at like 7'5", 7'6".
Okay, so
It depends on the day.
Every man on Tinder.
I was gonna say,
Yes.
every 5'11" and 3/4 man that exists.
Yes.
Yeah, I like it. Because there's a drastic difference between I'm 6 foot and I'm 6'1", and it's big. And you just see a large silver dragonborn just like plow this. He's not holding any weapons. He just like picked him up and put him down. And in front of you, just off to the side, you see a small halfling, squat, just sitting at a stone desk off to the side. There's some papers in front and a small book and a tankard of something sitting there. And he like smooths his robes down, and he looks up and he waves his hand and kind of beckons you over.
We go over.
Hello, how may I direct your path today? And he's kind of like scruffy. Like scruffy is the best word for it. Brown hair. Yeah, it's not so much soiled attire, but it might as well be. Like it looks like he slept in his clothes a bunch of times.
I'd like to lean down and whisper to Quill, like, it doesn't smell that bad in here.
I am not even paying attention. I am turned facing Dern, just slack-jawed, like,
He's big.
because he looks like a dragon.
I didn't even think of that. He looks like a dragon.
So I'm not listening to a word you are saying. I am just
Right.
staring at Dern.
I like it. The tail is just like
Oh yeah, I'm just like I'm heavy breathing. I am a 14-year-old girl in 2007 at a My Chemical Romance concert. Staring in silence as Dern walks across the stage.
I like it. And he holds out his hand and he says, I am Mr. Tiddlywinks. Don't laugh, don't laugh, don't laugh.
Dern laughs across the room.
Ha ha ha! I can't help but picture like Dan Avedon from Ninja Sex Party. Like that like yes.
Oh no.
Yeah. Just a big mop of hair. Agnes already claimed his hairdo. Like how may I direct your path today?
We are in search of someone to help us do a thing.
What?
He takes a long drink of his tankard for a second. He's like, okay.
What my endearing friend is asking about is we are looking for somebody to help us find, and you will have to excuse me for a moment as I got my sources from Starstruck Kitten there. And We need to go, and I again apologize, around the lake to find a shiny thing, otherwise the food won't grow. And we would like more help.
Okay. Slight retcon, because my notes didn't load. His name is Mr. Thistle Twist, not Tiddlywinks.
Thistle Twist.
Thistle Twist.
Dern still laughs off in the corner.
You guys can learn what that is on our OnlyFans.
And he gets up from his chair and he like gets down off the books that he's sitting on and he walks around and he's like 3 feet tall. 3'1", 3'1" for the Tinder profile. And he says, I told you once, I told you 1,000 times. Thistle Twist is a proud halfling name, you big lizard. And he turns around and he walks back around the desk again.
Right.
So, and climbs back up on his books. So you need some help.
We're on a mission from Antife.
Antife? Antifar?
Antifar. Sorry.
Oh,
Far.
shit. Okay. One moment, please. And he
Not
he
even the
reaches,
paladins fuck with her.
reaches down into his desk and he pulls out a big placard in the sign with a stick. And he fumbles the stick a little. And he gets the stick into the back, puts it down on the desk, and it says back in 5 minutes that he fucks off.
That. Excuse. I think he's going to get us some help.
He's running.
Agnes,
Oh,
I assure you, he is most definitely not. He is. We should make some friends.
Can Dern have seen this conversation kind of happening?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Dern being here for what, like a month? I think
Yeah. 1 day longer than these chuckleheads. aside from
Exactly.
Quill.
So they kind of just go like, he just goes, he's probably not coming back. Dern will approach these three and, being the good Samaritan that he is, walks up and goes, "Greetings, friends! How can I assist you?"
I'm
Looking at the owl man,
How
in
tall
a-
are you again?
7'2".
Cool. I'm 4'3".
Jesus.
So I am just like crotch level staring up. Like,
Quill, not polite to stare.
and I go,
Careful on the backswing.
I'm Quill, and I kind of like fumble to get the little clasp off, and I kind of hold out this little stuffed dragon toy, and I go, this is Lou. He's a dragon.
Damn right he's a dragon.
Oh no.
And I look at Lou and I go, "Damn right he's a dragon, because of course he's a dragon." I kneel down as low as I can go to look Lou in the eyes, and I'm presuming this is again. He presumes that Quill is like a child. And it's just like, "Damn right he's a dragon. You have picked a perfect partner for you. Always trust the dragons."
Like as you're like giving your speech, I kind of stop and go, "Well, he's a dragon. It's kind of like a dragon, but," and I kind of spin him around. And he's what used to be where wings were kind of like sewn over little nubs. He lost his wings, so he's more like a drake. But I don't want to get rid of his former glory, so I call him a dragon. So he's a dragon who looks like a drake, but I don't want to die or
Is
get
this
the glory.
quest to get his wings back?
It would be nice.
Well then, what the hell are we waiting for? Dern is now just like fully in this, invested in whatever the fuck they want to do.
And I'm so happy, and I just like instead of heavy breathing at this point, it's just like heavy, deep purring.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm just like holding Lou, and I kind of put Lou like up into here into my hood, and I'm just like, "Lou, it's you, but bigger."
Yeah, Dern is just like, "I don't care about Mr. tiddly thistle whatever. I need my jacket. I am assisting you with whatever quest you need.
Did Thistle Twist leave his drink behind?
He did.
Yes, he did.
Hoots goes. Let's do it.
I love it.
I
Fine.
gather my things. I don't even tell the head person or anything like that because again, there's still this thing about the height thing is still a problem for Dern. He understands that he should be checking in, but no, this dragon needs his goddamn wings. And that's what we're doing.
That is admirable. I like it.
Wait till you find out that's not what we're doing.
With that, Dern, you have a chance to collect your supplies. Like any good man on a quest,
Yes.
you'll probably need to pack some spare socks.
Oh, very much so. That and probably at least one pair of spare underwear. At least one.
Probably only the one, though. Like,
Yes.
we're doing this ultralight backpacking thing we're trying out now. where
100%.
it's
You just
you don't
turn them inside out. You're fine.
Yeah. You don't you don't have to wear deodorant. You have to pack way less, and you can just be like, "No, we're going ultralight. It's fine." Everybody
fine.
does it now.
I had this one guy from Earth talk about not bathing for 12 days, and apparently your natural oils help your body not smell.
You know, above table, I had a conversation with my wife about this the other day, about like if you use too many like products, then your natural oils won't help you anymore because you're just weak, and you need your special creams every night. As what is it? I'm blanking on the comedian's name, but I will quote it later.
As he's packing up, I want to go, where we are. I assume there are little pots of ground up chalk on the ground, and I would like to go and scoop a little bit into a little vial and put it into my bag.
Absolutely. Nobody stops you. People heard that you were here because Antifar said something, and everybody's given you a wide berth.
I just so point of reference, I have no idea who the fuck she is.
That's fair. and why would you? So yeah, Dern collectively grabs his things from his bunk, and you've got like a 5x7 jail cell for all intents and purposes. We'll call it 8. You only barely have to bend your knees when you sleep.
Oh yeah.
And it's just big enough that you can kneel and do your daily things.
Prayers to Tiamat, yes.
Yeah, to Tiamat.
To
I like it.
Tiamat.
I like it.
Yes, phonetical.
Yeah. To this point, anytime that you've said that, people have just kind of like, they go to correct you and then they look at you and they're like, it's just not worth it. No. Like, the effort that it would take, they're like, they'll get it. Somehow you can still, like, have abilities every day, and they're just like, I don't get that, but it works. Yeah, so you collect up your things, start working your way down the steps again, because all those steps that you just climbed, your calves are gonna be ripped.
Oh.
Back down you go.
Oh.
And then Hoots is just like,
Speak for yourselves.
Yeah. Dern has not skipped leg day.
yeah. And you coast back down, and you are a party of 4.
I don't know. My quest again is to get this this child, quote unquote, dragon repaired. That is my quest at this moment.
Can I get you to... Actually, I'm just going to drag you guys over for a second. So, Quill, you've been here the longest.
Yes.
Between you and Hoots, you know that the womb is situated on the west side of Lake Arneson.
Mm-hmm.
And west of the town is the big old forest that you guys live in, the Druid Groves. Northwest of that is that dark forest the Western Woods that you guys fought some magically augmented spiders in.
Yep.
South of the womb, the farthest part of the womb south that you can go is the kitchens, because you basically got a sheer face of where the lake meets mountain range.
Mhm.
It's steep. It's not passable by foot. There's no footpaths through there. There's a couple paths into the hills and stuff, but it doesn't really get you where you to go. If you want to go to the south end of the lake, you basically have to go north and skirt the lake and go down the other side.
Is there no boats you can take to get through?
So, boats in Lake Arneson are a sticky wicket. There are a couple small rowboats that generally are moored up near the kitchens, where Hoots lives. Nobody goes too terribly far out from shore, because I want to say that on some of the first days that Quill was here, you probably saw, I'm going to say, a winged tiefling with a glaive or something, just like something really on the nose. And he was saying all this weird stuff about, like, I'm a god of combat, and, like, you can't touch me. And he flies over the water, and he gets, like, 120 feet out into the water, and you just see a hand come up, grab him, and pull him under the water. And he died.
Oh.
And occasionally, you'll see, like, if there's a big storm or something like that, you'll see a big old shadow. And Hoots, you can kind of corroborate this a little bit on your night flights. Every now and again, when you're really high up and you're looking down at the water, you know when the sun hits the water just right, and you get that, like, pillar of light that goes all the way down? When the moonlight hits it just right, and you see something big go across the light, and it hasn't stopped going across the light yet, and you're like, that's a big fish. That's a big fish. And then it's gone. There's a lot of that. People don't go in the lake, usually.
Personally, I've taken to naming it Arnie.
Arnie.
Okay, well, that's terrifying. I don't
Because
wanna
if you're in the lake, get to the chopper.
Yes. Okay, then. Well, that is good information to know that I know.
You don't have this, but for the sake of your planning and purview, I'm just going to drag you over here for a second. You guys are right here, where I'm clicking my mouse.
Oh.
And you're essentially going to be heading up this
going
way.
way down there.
Yeah. Your destination is down here, where the red dot is. So, again, going north, it's a distance. You're probably going to have to camp overnight at least once before you can get over to there. Hoots, if you were trying to make the trip on your own, just flying at a uncomfortable height, you could probably do it, but you would leave yourself open and vulnerable to the things that live around here. Cal has given you a warning every now and again about not going off by yourself too much, because there are things that live in the skies, and there are things that live everywhere. So, yeah, do what you can make your own choices. I'm just saying this now. You choose what your character does.
Is it?
Dern swims.
Dern can swim. It's a thing.
So would it technically be quicker to go through the mountains that way than walk all the way around?
If you had climbing equipment to kind of piton your way across a sheer face, maybe.
Yeah.
Again, you're not looking at it's for all intents and purposes not passable.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then I'm assuming, knowing of the giant creature in the center of this lake, that we are going to be following north.
Creatures, plural. There's a bunch of things that live in the lake.
That we are going to be heading north around the lake. And
Where else
since
do you
we
end
are
up like him?
prepped and ready, I am going to, without spinning around, I'll save that. I will point the direction of north.
Mhm.
Am I pointing north?
You know what? I'll give it to you.
Okay.
Don't even need to roll for it. You're probably pointing north.
Okay.
As oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, and I'm gonna kind of look back at everybody and go, well, guess it's time to go.
And with the,
I was
Go
about to say, as we're passing by like a seamstress place, I'm like, but we could get the wings repaired here. Okay, nope. All right, I guess he has a certain place in mind, and I follow.
I like how I literally showed you it and was like, he's missing his wings, and you were like, this is clearly what you are here for.
I mean, why else would you come and see me?
there has never been a nobler quest than finding the wings of a tiny little dude named Lou.
You so love making new friends.
That's a straight shooter if I've ever seen one before.
You know, we need more people like you in the world.
Tiamat, god of dragons. Yogamat, god of exercise. Thank you, Ryan. You know what? You guys get on the road again
Oh, the road.
and start heading your way north of the womb. You'll get to a V in the road after leaving the womb, and then you head to the right, hard right. If you go left, that leads you up near where the West Woods were, and where the mills and stuff are. You don't need to be going that way. And then we'll pick it up here in a little bit. Why don't we call it a good place to take a break? Because health is important, and everybody has, functions to see to.
Technically, it is not taking us home. I'm just gonna say
Well,
that
I mean, it will be when you come back.
when we
If
return
you,
the other way.
If you come back. So,
It's too
Kid-
early for Dern to die.
It's never
Kid
too
gloves
early.
are off. Your choices, and I will preface this for the audience as well. Your choices will get you killed. I will not actively try and murder you and be like, I'll kill your characters. Like we said in our session 0, if you make choices that get you killed, you will die. And that's not optimization things. That's just like turning into a goldfish and jumping off a mountain. Those kinds of things. Like,
That would kill you?
Everybody knows goldfish are notorious mountain dwellers.
Yes.
they are. Yes.
They live in the Rocky Mountain ranges. That's where all goldfish who get flushed down the toilet end up in.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't you guys know we just go up when we flush?
I like it. Cool. Let's call it there. Let's take a little bit of a break, and we'll be back in 10 minutes. That's enough time for me to eat a sandwich and get some water.
All right.
You know, I missed the boat when I said tiddlywinks, trying to fill in for Thistle Twist. I should have said titty sprinkles. Oh, and we're back. Hello. So
I don't know if I could have respected a gnome named that or a halfling named that. No.
there is that. You guys leave the womb. Exit the womb, if you will, aiming for the fork in the road. No more of that. Okay, so we need a little on the road traveling music, I think. As you guys are, I'm not going to say making away. Not going to say making away. It's not going to be a thing. I will. Why don't we
Making our
go
way down south. Goblins pass.
Making our way.
So bad. It is so bad. No.
Making our way tavern bound. But
There, you can have some of that. The road is hard packed earth, and it's well traveled. No wider than a wagon. It's not like the King's Highways or something you might see in some fantasy realm. It's primarily just like, foot travel, the occasional horse, that sort of thing. You get about an hour up the road, and you get something in your ear. And it's Antifar.
Oh.
And she says, I forgot something. That Quill burst off and I was distracted. And I forgot something. If you follow the path south, around the lake, and make your way south on the east side of the lake, you'll find a large cottage. It belongs to... And the message cuts off.
ooh.
Thanks,
And
Auntie. Thanks, Antifar. I didn't quite catch the end of that. If you could send me another message.
And it comes back in with motherfucker. And she's like, is that one word or two? That belongs to a friend of mine and his daughter. He's the one who told us where the mistletoe could be harvested. And silent.
Do we hear this, or is this strictly just in her head?
It's the sending spell into
Okay.
her head. Yeah.
Thanks so much, Auntie. The road out here is really nice. I wish I could show it to you sometime. I bet you've been here before, but this way is really cool, and I have new friends.
No response.
And then
This is a really weird way to the tailors. All right.
incoming news from Antifar, friends. And Agnes shares the news.
Mistletoe?
Oh, yeah, she supplies some really lovely mistletoe. It's necessary for me to do what I do with the trees sometimes.
All right. Turn just goes, okay. I guess that has to do with making the wings for this dragon. Turn's just like, yeah. Like, mistletoe, trees. I guess that's needed in sewing.
I kind of just walk up and I kind of like grab you by part of your armor and I go, is this way?
I am just following. I am just like, yeah, this is the way.
You're following a road. It's well traveled for all intents and purposes. Comfortable. To the left of you is a bit of rolling hills, scrub brush, grasslands. Further north, large, tall jack pine, green forests. And then set against a backdrop is still more mountains to the far north of where you're at. to the south of you, or immediately to your right, about 100 feet from where the road is Lake Arneson. And everybody roll me a perception check. We got a 13, we got a 5.
Hold up.
Perception. No, that's performance.
18.
18
Right.
for Quill, 6 for Dern. Cool. Quill,
Yes.
you notice every now and again, you kind of like wind catches your ears for a second. You turn, and it looks like there was something kind of like skirting across the top of the water, and then it drops down and it's gone. Not close to you, but just off in the distance. And you see a wing kind of come out and flap, and it looks like the wing of a manta ray, only it's the size of a house. And it kind of like skids across, and it makes a splash, and you see a number of like almost a full school of like trout just kind of like roil up into the air, almost as though it were a sharknado, but it's a troutnado. And you see a bigger form, kind of like almost like a stingray on its back, kind of lift up and open its mouth, and they all just fall into it. And this thing goes back down into the water, and again, the wing was the size of a house, and it just like sinks back down slowly into the water.
I kind of like, my head is turning again. I've just got this look in my face of like, does anyone else see this at all, or is it just me?
It's only you.
Okay.
So Agnes rolled somewhat high, but totally
I
different.
turn back to everyone who has not seen this, and just kind of randomly I go, and this is why you should probably stay out of water. It's not great. Water's not the best. No reference, no nothing. I just kind of turn to everybody and tell them it's probably best to stay away from water. With this like kind of terrified look on my face. And I
You know, that's not going to get you out of taking a bath later today, right?
and I go,
My natural oils will take care of my stench.
you know,
They really won't.
Quite the opposite.
So that being said, attributing that, Jim Jeffries is the comedian that talked about special creams and natural oils. It's worth looking up. It's pretty good on YouTube. I feel like our like marching music is kind of like the wind blowing, and occasionally wow 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 bow 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 from a kalimba. And the occasional like, I'm just gonna say hoot on a jug, like hoo 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 hoo.
Are we just like a marching band now?
Or something. I don't know. Whatever makes you happy, man. Whatever makes you happy is what
I'm
we're
just kind
gonna
of bopping along. I'm just having a good
Yeah.
time.
do. And Lou's just like,
Yep. Lou's just on my side, just kind of flopping along.
please do, David. Please do. I like it. More liquid necessary. So you're making your way
Downtown.
Walking fast.
fast.
The lake goes past, and we're southbound.
North.
Technically eastbound and down. Loaded up.
Southeast bound.
Trucking.
Yeah, there's no hope for this episode. That's fine.
No. All right. Mac, I figured out the title. It's episode 2. Eastbound and down.
Eastbound and down.
Going down dirt path 69.
It's it's either that or sorry, what was the name of your special attack, Dern?
Giant hammer swing or big hammer swing?
Yeah. Something to that effect.
That sounds
I
like
was
a
trying to
bad
go for-
anime dub.
Well, I
Yeah.
was about to say it's kind of like the one punch man thing. It's
That's
just
one man
normal
punch.
hammer
Yeah,
swing.
There you go. Yeah. So you're working your way along, and the day is getting late, and you see flora and fauna abound. It's mostly dull. Anything any of you would like to do? Hoots, are you walking?
Yeah, but like chicken walk, like just like because I don't imagine it's like people legs. It's just like to like the top of the thigh, and then it's like bird leg. And have you ever actually seen an owl walk?
Yes, it's
They
hilarious.
have this like
And
I've had over a month to get used to this. I'm 100%. So where the jeans end, while they look like they would be full pants, they're actually capris. They are cargo capris.
can he have like prepper like Crocs on with like little pouches or something?
His talons poking through, but they're definitely Crocs.
Better put those things in sport mode, baby.
Gotta switch to 4-wheel drive.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, are there any trees or anything near us at all?
Spatterings of trees here and there.
Like, are we kind of like an open path, or are we like on a narrow path of stuff all over?
Open path, rolling hills to your left, lake down to the right. You'll get like copses of trees here and there. There's a big forest way north of you, like maybe a half a click off. But yeah, like if you were gonna stop for the night, for instance, somewhere, you can find an outcropping of trees somewhere and get what you
there's
need.
nothing like specifically like tight around us for kind of be looking at. We're just kind of walking an open pathway.
Yeah, you can
Skirting the
see
lake.
around you, and things around you can see you.
Do I see anything seeing me?
Given you passives, just kind of like looking around, head on a swivel here and there, because Quill strikes me as maybe not paranoid, but certainly like cautious. A lot of things are bigger than you,
Yes.
and that's just prudent. Not so much. Occasionally, off in the distance, you'll hear like the snapping of branches, or you'll see a form move in the lake, or a fish jump, or something like that. But no, it's quite peaceful.
Nice.
Okay.
Dern is. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I have nothing else in my mind then, other than just trucking forward and doing the thing.
All right.
Meanwhile, Dern is just there is like some kind of chant going on in his head because I'm pretty sure my passive perception is 0 or something close to that.
It doesn't fit because you're Eberron instead of Earth, but
Yeah,
it's like a never gonna give you up, never gonna let you.
As they go.
no, it literally that is what Dern's brain is just meme songs in his head
I
the
like it.
entire time.
But with no context, because you
Zero.
live with a bunch of weebs that just like they're like, this is a thing now.
Yeah, no, they've introduced me to Naruto running songs and things like that.
I like it.
I don't know what it is, but I presume it's popular on Earth.
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 Yarth.
Agnes is going to be doing what she does and gathering as we walk along, stops and picks a few things up, knows that we're going to be stopping because obviously this is going to need to be a day trip, a little more than a day trip. So she's gathering things as we walk along to eat when we get there.
You roll me a survival check.
Ooh,
Nice.
For the
roll.
23. Nice.
that's yeah.
You find so the outcroppings of pine trees as you go. You specifically find this is Usnia. This is Old Man's Beard. This is something that you recognize from your not yet revealed origin place on the planet Earth, but it grows there, and you're like, Tinder. Tea.
Tea.
If you ever have a chance to use Old Man's Beard for tea, you can, and it tastes like woody water, but it's kind of good for you.
As long as it doesn't taste like Woody Allen.
Decidedly does not. You know, I can't say that because I don't have the experience to know what Woody Allen tastes like.
I mean,
But
my guess was leather.
Oh,
Just leather and shame.
I'm going home now. Just
shame. So, yeah, you gather all manner of. With that roll, you consistently find your way back to the single winding path that goes around the lake and your companions. And
And in my head, I'm just like, I know I could just give them a good berry, but I just don't think that they would enjoy it quite as much as this stew. And if I put in these acorns and I throw in a little bit of this, I think it's going to be so much better.
coming back to the group, and Agnes keeps kind of darting off every 10 minutes or so, and like she stays within vision. But you see, she's got like, I feel like the front of her her coat is kind of like rolled up a little bit, and there's a collection of like chicken of the woods, and just like a spattering of nuts, and just some reasonably hearty things.
Nice.
Yeah,
And a
enough to
really nice, like, forked piece of wood.
a good proper forked stick, as one is wont to do. Yeah. You work your way down the road. Again, it's a leisurely pace. You settle in. Sky is dimming. Sun's going down. And you cross a small wooden bridge. And I say small, but it's about 30 feet across. It's made out of stout timbers, but it's not quite a full 10 feet wide. Like, trying to get a horse cart across this would be challenging. And you see off to the side, there's a bunch of like extra timbers and poles and things like that. Probably some kind of usage for passing cargo or things like that. But it's in reasonably good repair. It crosses what you know to be Fox Creek. It's affectionately called Fox Creek. The naming of which is lost to the ages.
Jern's gonna look at the sign and go, it might have been named after a fox. And then just proceed to cross the bridge. Just blatantly out loud, just looks at it and goes, it's named after a fox. And then just walks.
Yep. You cross a bridge. It's stout. It's the same bridge everybody else takes.
I'm right beside you.
That's
As
I'm
you
very happy having this, having Quill beside me. It's just a very comforting thing for Dern.
sun goes down
My side.
on this side of town,
Yeah.
and you essentially like Agnes likely takes the lead on this and stops to start making camp. I feel like Hoots is probably like, he's no slouch. He's a bush boy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
you know, when you know, you know.
And
I feel like we take point and we make sure that, the camp is reasonably
I
set
I
up.
look to these two and I just go, what can Dern do for you?
You can find sticks. Lots of sticks.
All right.
Don't go too
Goes
far.
back Tonk like with a fully uprooted tree.
Yeah. Exactly. I just went and pulled a small sapperling out of the ground and came
Sapperling?
back.
Oh dear! Oh
Have you
dear!
been
Oh
playing
dear!
Magic the Gathering? No.
No, like a pretty thick, like sapperling kind of thing, taller
Oh
than
my-
me. So I was just like ripped it out of the ground.
Agnes is visibly distressed and runs up and takes the sapling away from you and says, she's often very positive and very almost airheaded in the way that she addresses things. She gets a little clenched jaw moment and says, "Why don't you go ask Hoots if you can help him?" And then goes and replants the tree as best she can.
And go to Hoots.
Hoots is looking at the like pike he's holding, trying to like set up one of the tents. Looks at Dern. Looks at the pike. And you can see the gears turning where he's like, I could ask him to hammer this in. However.
This is what combat crocs are for.
Back of the axe.
It's the center of the combat croc is both a bottle opener and a flat path for just like pushing tent pegs in.
Yeah. Friend Hoots, how can I assist you, friend?
Well, you can you hammer these pegs into the ground for me? That's
I pull
all
out
I
my
need.
warhammer.
No.
I put my hammer away.
Smaller
You
hammer.
want me to put the hammer down?
I pull out my throwing hammer.
You know what? It'll work. It's better. If you could be doing it for me, I need you to put the pegs in the ground. We will prop up these tents, and I'm starting to question whether or not these tents are long enough to fit you, but we'll make it work.
It's fine. I have sturdy skin. I can sleep outdoors. And I just go to tap a okay. I'm going to roll survival here.
Sure.
And I'm going to see how effectively I actually set up these tents or help set up. I got an 11.
I like it. You know what? You can hammer a peg into the ground. I've camped with far worse and far less. A 10 is enough. A 10 is fine.
All right.
Yeah.
Peg that hole
It's
in.
probably not the Hoots like I want to say.
Oh no,
God.
Hoots is very happy that he's distracted you with this, so while Agnes is
Okay.
replanting the tree, he's going to light a fire.
No.
You're distracted, destruction will not happen, and Agnes is happy replanting a tree. He's just going to start a fire and set up his pot to, like, start the preparations for cooking, knowing full well there's a very good chance tonight that he is eating something that is probably mostly grass.
You turn around and Dern's already started the fire. Because somehow he's lit the tents on fire.
No,
Oh, no.
not that bad.
No. Yeah. Quill,
They would be frozen.
Quill, what are you doing as this scenario is unfolding?
I'm gonna head over to the trees area to do my business.
Titty poop. As much as it is a Dungeons and Dragons trope, I will not be awarding you role-playing XP for pooping in the woods. I will say that on camera now. You guys can hold me to this. If you poop, I'm not giving you role-playing XP. But I like it because it makes sense that you'd need to.
I'm gonna go. I'm a private boy, so I'm gonna go a little deeper than just the edge of a tree or something.
And we'll need to clip this for the OnlyFans, of course. But how deep do you go?
About 15 feet farther than you'd expect.
Oh, I hate it.
And that's it.
Well, this has been a great stream. I'll see you guys later.
Than you expect. And clipped.
No, I'm gonna go like. I'm probably gonna like kind of like slink about. I don't know, probably a 30-second walk into the woods.
Yeah. So you do your business, get some actual firewood. Camping. So Hoots brought a tent that is sized appropriately for 2 people. What about everybody else?
Dern has a roll bag and is more than fine sleeping under the stars.
I like it. Agnes?
I have a sleeping bag.
All right.
And I'm gonna sleep under the stars.
I like it. The sky is clear. It is reasonably nice here. I am going to drag you guys over to. There we go. What you see before you is you're somewhat close to the lake. Got a big old campfire given her, and you know what? Let's give you some woodland campfire vibes. There we go.
Should I be able to see something?
In a moment.
Okay, sorry.
There we go. Can you not see anything right now?
I can see my token in a sea of black.
Oh, allow me to fix that because the stream can see.
So it's just me.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's me too. I just
You
realized
as
my
well.
microphone was muted.
Rutrow.
I just double checked. I can see on my own visual.
Yeah, I can see a very large Hoots still and a fireplace.
It looks like Hoots is just standing in the lake, like, yep.
Yeah. It does kind of look like Hoots is standing in the lake. Allow me to do some shenanigans for a second here.
A giant Hoots is just in the middle of the lake. It's like a Godzilla
There we
type
go.
scenario.
There you go. It is because you don't have dark vision and dynamic lighting was turned on this layer.
Perfect.
Oh,
Once again, dynamic lighting saves the day.
It's dark. Scrub.
You've got a ignore the horse sounds in the background. I can only do so much.
Hootzilla.
I want to say it's Hoots just like doing this. So you've got a meal. Hoots, thankfully, has a big old iron pot with him, because how are you going to cook without a cooking implement? And so you've got like, I'm going to say it's like a 2-quart steel. I'll call it a steel pot. It looks like a Dutch oven, proper lid for laying coals on and such. He seems like a proper lid kind of boy. So.
I
Good
heard you like
Canadian
lids.
It's all
I got you,
lodge.
I got you one with a lip on it.
This one holds your spoon.
I mean,
This
technically
one-
I have a cooking pan.
But with the foraging and your Outlander background, Agnes, you've procured enough food over the course of your 8 hours of travel for the party to feed them for a whole day, and then probably have some, like, you know, pot scrapings for the morning.
For whose benefit, it is at least 70% grass.
And for the protein value, only 4 mice.
I was going to say,
Excellent. I'll throw them up whole later.
Can I go out hunting really quick? Because we all know what happens when a cat eats grass.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, no.
You know what?
Out of the
You went
tent.
off. You went off doing kitty poops. Give me a survival check.
Yes, mistress.
I told you the term is madam.
Oh no,
Double sixes.
that's
So-
actually double twos, I think.
And that's with a +4.
That's what the +4. So we got a 6. So I feel like Quill is an adept hunter. He knows what he's doing. You practice. A lot of times you get your own food in the grove that you live. And for comedy's sake, you're like partway through popping a kitty squat and you see a bunch of grouse kicking around and you're like, I can totally do this. I don't even have to move. And you go to draw your bow and you're in a seated position and it just like flies off and you kind of like shoot off to the side. It's the only thing that you saw the entire time.
Dang it.
Yeah. And you come back and there's it smells quite nice actually. There's a good meaty amount of mushrooms. There's some like ground up. Does Agnes have? Who has proficiency in herbalism kits? I think.
I
Jordan
do.
and Agnes do.
I do.
I
Sorry,
think
I
we
laughed for a second because I thought I didn't have any proficiency
Yeah.
with that.
Durin, because of your specific background of where you come from, that's something that you get. So you
Yes.
have a mortar and pestle, like for grinding things. So it's got like nut flour in it to act as a thickener, so to speak. It's fine. The longer it sits on the fire, the better it's going to be. Well, in the coals, but you know. So, yeah, despite the amount of salad greens that are inside, you'll probably have a full tum-tum. In the morning, you probably hear Quill making some terrible retching sounds of like that, because cats and grass.
Yeah.
Are we taking watch?
What do you want to do?
Yes.
I think Dern volunteers to take the first watch.
Okay, I'll take it with Dern then, because we're best friends now.
Fair enough.
Then Hoots, you and I are buddied up.
Sounds about right.
It's gonna be great.
4 watches. Who's going after that?
We'll take turns.
I would say one per would probably be best.
Yeah.
Dern goes to Quill and goes, "You need to rest a bit first, and then I will wake you up and we'll chat for a few minutes before you take your shift. How about that? Because you need sleep too, young man."
I'm confused by the young man, but I'm like, that sounds fair.
I will never not write Hoots' name with a Z instead of with an S, and I will not apologize for it.
Beautiful.
All right, so I'll take third.
Okay. Oh, gotcha. I will
Oh,
adjust.
no, that's fine. If that's the order, that's fine. Sorry.
Agnes, the one with the worst vision, is going just before Twilight. We like it. Cool.
Perfect.
Everybody settles in. Have a meal. You feel satiated. Agnes, is there anything you would like to do before the morning?
I will make good berries.
All right.
I make 20 good berries.
You should have a item assigned in your character sheet at
No,
the top of your inventory.
Did you add it? I'm good. I've got it tracked on there.
Okay, yeah. Just because we had talked about it for ease.
It's at the top of the inventory list, and I just update the number.
I did not put it there. I was just reminding.
Sorry, I did it.
Dern, your first watch as your companions slink off to their tents and respective bedrolls. You have a 2-hour period by yourself. What do you do?
Dern is going to keep, a decent watch and stuff like that, but he pulls out his puzzle box and stares at it for probably a good 30 minutes before putting it away.
Okay.
And
do you play with it? Do you try and open it?
No.
Okay.
No. Dern just literally stares at it for almost 30 minutes.
I like it.
And that's it. And other than that, he's keeping watch and probably snacking on a little bit of the stew that's left. He liked it.
It was good.
It was very good.
As good as stew that's made over like 2 hours on a campfire with inconsistent heat, using found things can be.
I mean, Dern is used to Eberron food, especially from where he's from. He's glad to have a warm meal. As much as he doesn't like to state it out loud, he's very happy with the meal.
Mm-hmm. You're used to like slam into a Slim Jim, but
yeah, basically.
TM.
Sponsor. I said not a sponsor.
Yeah.
Not a sponsor.
Not yet.
Hashtag. I guess after the 2 hours, if there's nothing really happening, or if you don't need me to make it.
Roll me a perception check.
Okay.
$13. It's quiet, and you kind of lose yourself in thought and the crackle of the fire and the sound of birds off in the distance, and you just kind of like not a horse. You make that sound from your bowels because this you're like, yep, working the stew through. Not a horse.
Canonically, his Dern's stomach is a horse.
I like it. It
Yeah.
sounds like a horse. Any horse
Yeah.
sounds that you hear on stream.
It's
absolutely
Dern's stomach.
stomach.
100%.
Hashtag Dern stomach. 2 hours pass. It is good and proper dark. I forget. You don't have dark vision, do you?
No, that's why I took first watch.
I like it. That's just sensible.
Yeah.
So by the light of the fire, and you can see across the lake. It's the things in the woods that you can't make out, and occasionally, like something puts you on alert, and you hear like twigs snapping and things like that. But it's fine. And you, when you're done, you kind of rouse yourself, and you're like, "It's getting to be about that time. Moseying on over." And you go and approach Quill.
I gently shake Quill.
I like slowly kind of like roll and like do the full little like arm stretch kind of coming back. Like I'm talking like all the way back.
You look like a foot taller, kind of thing like that.
Exactly. And
Yeah,
then I kind of
yeah.
look over and I'm like, oh, is your time now?
I nod and say, "Yes, it is time, friend Quill. You'll need to stay up for a couple of hours to before you can wake up. I believe it's Agnes next."
Quill,
Yes.
because both I want to say everybody watching need to know. Does Lou have a miniature bedroll that you like tuck him into like a tooth fairy pillow, and he like sleeps beside you in his own bedroll?
No, unfortunately, he does not.
Oh, yet.
He is like clung to me like in a death grip, but a loving death grip,
I like it.
one that only a dragon could enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I kind of
Dern nods to the grip.
I kind of like loosen up and I kind of like put Lou up in my little hood here, and I'm like, "Shall you go into bed then?"
I think so. It's been an interesting day so far, and I would like to feel refreshed for tomorrow.
Can I ask you a question before you go?
Of course, friend Quill.
So, everyone since I was little said that I had a heart of a dragon. And from what you can see visibly on me, I am wearing like scale mail that looks like dragon scales.
Yeah.
I've got my little stuffed dragon, and I'm like very clearly a dragon fanboy. And I go, everyone would say I had the heart of a dragon, but you've got the soul of a dragon. So, what's that like?
That question hits Dern a lot harder than he was expecting, and he thinks for a second and goes, "The soul of a dragon is earned, and you are on your way to earning that soul. You keep up your thoughts and your ideals." And he pats him on the back and just says, "I'm just going to take a minute. Have a good watch." And Dern just kind of goes to his bedroll and stares up into the stars for a little bit.
After hearing said speech, I am very excited because this thing that looks kind of like a dragon has told me that I'm on the path to being a dragon, which is incredibly exciting.
I mean, yeah, and Dern 100% thinks that anybody can become a dragon, especially after him becoming a dragonborn. He truly believes that.
That's a good point. I don't know this about you.
do
So
not.
yeah, Quill is just like, heck yeah, this really cool dude is like thinking I'm gonna be so freaking sweet. So I am off the wall. I am so alert. I'm so awake. I'm so excited. I'm so ready. I'm like, gotta keep my things. Gotta keep doing the stuff. And I'm just sitting there, just like, just looking around for anything I can.
Gotta earn being a dragon.
Um,
As a quick aside, my loving wife is like, all I can think about is whether or not everybody brought their poop shovel for camping in the woods. And she's like, I hate fucking pooping in the woods.
Well, but I would like to start my watch with something near and dear to my heart really quick here. If everyone can turn their eyes to the chat real quick and open a link. This is the thing that's been on my mind for the last 15 minutes. And I just needed to get it out.
It's the man on the phone in the background that gets it for me because it's like he's calling security. Like, you're not gonna believe this shit, officer.
There's an owl man in
For
the
the-
shop with a gun.
Asking about combat crocs.
He's looking for steel-toe Crocs. I don't know what to tell him, sir.
They exist. They exist. I'm just saying right now, Hoots is giving off mad mall cop vibes.
As soon as you said Crocs on Hoots and you see that pose, I just picture him in a store being like, where are they? So, I'm sorry for that tangent.
That has to be America, where they've got a. This is okay
He's
in America.
he's not the mall cop, but he acts like he is.
So he's
Hey, you kids, get out of the pond.
Some little kid and their mom's trying to buy some Crocs, and he's just like looming.
I'm sorry, but I felt our viewers needed to see it. That's not mine. I mean,
Oh, it made it on screen. Perfect. I like it.
I'm looking around. I'm looking around so intently. Like every noise, my head bounces to it. I quickly like scatter over the corner, see nothing there, go back to it. I'm like, I'm gonna earn that dragon soul.
15 solid minutes of being hyper energetic, and you're like really quiet out here.
Yeah, it dawns on me that nothing's happening.
You've been on such high alert, the adrenaline's pumping through, and you're like, I've got a little bit of a headache because everything's just starting to come down. Roll a perception check, please.
Can do.
Thank you for that, David. I need that for my archives.
21.
All right. As you look around, the fire's starting to go a little low, and you throw a couple of logs back to it because it's necessary for some of your companions. And you hear the horsey nittering of Dern's stomach as he rolls over, and just like I feel like he just like puts his hammer down, lays on his back, and splays out, and just goes to sleep. Like, probably has a bedroll that he pulls over one leg.
Sounds about right.
And it's quiet. You're on alert. Your time is yours. It passes slowly. It's just you and Lou. Lou specifically also does not see anything. Lou's perception check was immensely higher than yours, and he didn't see anything either. But he's got a better vantage point being up in your hood. So
Right,
you know,
right, yes. This little bit of follow barn and
periscope vision that he has.
oh yeah. I kind of pull Lou out of my hood and I kind of put him in my hands in front of me and I'm kind of staring at him. I'm like, you hear what he said? He said that I could have the show of a dragon one day. And to be honest, Lou, if I got the show of a dragon, the first thing I would do is give it to you. Because you're also wings. And I feel like you've got the show of a dragon. But, like, if I can make you a wheel dragon, I'll make you a wheel dragon. Not that you're not a wheel dragon, but I mean like a wheel dragon, like big dragon, really high up. I think it'll be a great time. So as soon as I get it, I'll give it to you. And I kind of like put it back in my hood.
And like you see this little stuffed toy. It just gives the faintest, because it's a stuffed toy, and it just like kind of like half loses the tension on its neck for a second because its stuffing had migrated or its beanbags had moved, and it looks like it nods in agreement.
Oh, I'm glad you agree. As I kind of like put him into my hood, and I kind of like pull it up a little bit so it's a little taut around him, and adds a little bit extra warmth. And I continue on my watch, just sitting kind of near the fireplace, or the fire. I'm gonna keep saying place, fire pit.
Could Dern have heard that because of his own existential crises?
Roll a perception check. I will beat a 12.
17.
17. You know what? As you're laying there and like this kid's running around, and you hear him just kind of like he's talking to his stuffed animal. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, 100% Dern has a new mission.
I like it.
100%.
And that is to rip out the heart of a dragon and insert it into this cat.
100%.
I have the heart of a dragon, I've been told. I just don't have the soul.
Oh, okay. So you need to steal a dragon's soul and insert it into this cat person.
Yeah, no, 100% is what Dern is now decided he's going to have to do.
Right to the elbow. Got it.
Yeah.
Cool.
100%.
Perfect. Anything else happen on my...
Your 2 hours passed uneventfully.
Okay.
And who's up
I
next?
as my kind of watch comes to an end, I'm going to assume it's maybe 15 minutes shorter, maybe 15 minutes longer. Mike wasn't keeping good time, and
Yep.
I kind of walk over and I get incredibly close to to Agnes's ear. I'm like,
Hey, it's your turn. Get up.
What?
it's your turn.
Yahtzee?
I kind of like stand back up, and I like kind of my tail. 'Cause I'm a cat, I can move my tail independently, I'm assuming.
Yep.
And I kind of like just like softly poke, just like kind of like on your shoulder, like it's your turn to stay and watch. It's my turn to sleep.
Oh, that was a weird dream.
What were you dreaming?
Home.
That's nice. Is home cool?
Sometimes. You know, there's different seasons. Sometimes it's warm, sometimes it's cool.
Nice.
It's so
Well,
literal.
that's not what Quill does at all. But he just kind of goes with it. And he's like, nice. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything happen?
No. I tried to see if there'd be something that would happen because it got kind of boring, but nothing happened.
Oh. Well,
So,
that's good. That's good.
yeah, you should be perfectly fine. No, like house-sized wings or anything in nearby.
House size?
It's fine.
Did you see something with house size wings?
Long time ago. It's fine. So you should have no problem staying alive during your watch. You'll be good.
Insight check.
It's like a small child from Aliens being like, they mostly come at night. Mostly.
14. Things will be fine. It's gonna be
Probably.
fine. Okay. Well, Agnes starts off slightly unsettled.
I will preface this. It doesn't seem like he's absolutely just trying to fuck with you.
No.
Like he's just like he's saying things, and you're like, oh, that's unsettling. It's not.
You will likely be fine tomorrow morning.
Yeah,
Okay.
likely.
Exactly.
Everything's gonna be fine.
I kind of do that, and I notice as you get up from your spot, it is going to be the warmest spot nearby that is free, and I'm going to not in but on top of your sleeping bag, curl up.
Okay. Agnes digs through her bag and gets out this like it's like a hand crocheted shawl that she sometimes wraps around her shoulders while she's foraging, and she lays it on top of you and heads out.
Aw.
Um, so
Protect the
Agnes,
cat boy.
basically, Agnes is gonna make sure the fire's stoked. Going to cast a flame into her hand just to help with her sight because she can't see very well, and is going to take a seat, look around, and if everything feels quiet, we'll kind of set the fire beside her and we'll pull out her charts.
Okay. You got a long, thin branch and some grass beside you, just for the sake of lighting a lantern in a hurry if you needed to.
Mhm.
And yeah, just by firelight, you've got a bunch of charts laid out, and you review. There's all manner of flora and fauna about, and this isn't Agnes's first rodeo, staying up all night, or just sitting by a fire in the dead of night in a strange land full of woods. Roll me a perception check.
12.
And you never see it coming.
She never does.
Yep, you are engrossed, and unless there's something specifically you want to do, I feel like Hoots, you wake up and you're like, did I oversleep? What happened? What happened? And it is well past the time that you should have been on, and kind of right yourself, and you see Agnes outside the tent, and she's just she's got a little pen, and there's a bunch of papers spread around, and her lantern's now lit just off to the side because reading by firelight fucking sucks. And also open flame. Yeah.
Protect those papers.
She
Can I-
feels she has control of the situation. It's fine.
Yeah.
Can I pick any of them up? Or is Agnes gonna stop me if I pick one of them up?
Oh, you can pick them up, but there's 4 or 5 just scattered. They're all legal to larger sizes of rolled paper.
And what do I see if I unroll one of them?
There are various so it's a printed star chart,
Mm-hmm.
and around it you see pieces that have been highlighted and scribbled notes on the side. Some areas are busier than others, but it seems very random. And it looks like there's been some of the ink is a little more faded. Some of it looks a little fresher. The particular one that you have, that nothing looks brand new in it. It's not the one she's working on.
Are they?
Roll a investigation check for me, Hoots.
Investigation.
That's a
Ooh.
21.
So you just kind of casually looking about quick, and you recognize 3 of the papers as things that you recognize as constellations from Earth. That's a Big Dipper right there.
Would I know? Would they? Yeah. Would I know which constellations they are?
Given you did a lot of book learning, and you spend enough time looking at the night sky, I feel like Eric's probably a little bit of and that's the Big Dipper, and that's the Little Dipper, and that sort of deal.
And are any of the known constellations the ones circled, or are they different, hand-drawn constellations?
It's mix and match. There's a lot of additional detail added to Orion.
Okay.
Noticeably, anything with really, really fresh ink here doesn't seem to pique your mind at all. Some of the older ones, but yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna hold it up really quick, just kind of giving it a better look at the stars and the sky. And I'm going to kind of neatly roll it back up. I'm going to hand it back to Agnes and go, well, time for you to get your last of your 40 winks.
Things don't work quite the same here. You know, it's interesting, not unexpected, but you know.
It's definitely different. And I'm starting to think different isn't so bad.
I don't disagree with you. Do you find were you a pilot before? Did you fly before? You love flying. I see that.
I do love flying. I flew. My dad flew. My grandpa flew. My great grandpa flew. Whole line of us were pilots.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Did you want to fly?
Yeah, I grew up sitting in the co-pilot seat of an old rusty Cherokee, and I guarantee you wouldn't have passed safety if anyone had looked too closely. And my first memories are nothing but blue sky as far as you can see. Just miles of trees, mountains, and the sky, and I've never felt so free as that exact moment.
It's funny. I feel like when I came into the womb, like I'd been seen, like it understood me.
Do you mean you didn't feel like people saw you for you?
No, but you know how sometimes when you're living life and you're trying to be someone and trying to be who you think you're supposed to be or who you want to be. And sometimes that doesn't show on the outside. I feel like, well, the way you talk about the sky, the way you talk about flying, and you came here and now look at you. You can go anywhere you want, as high as you want. I think it's kind of special that we could come someplace that seems to understand what we need.
Hoots is going to gently place a hand on Agnes's shoulder and go, you know, there's two places I've ever needed to be. One of them was the sky, and I can't help but feel like one of them is right here, right now, with you three.
You
Go
hear
get
Dern
some
snoring
sleep.
in the background.
Now, sun will be up soon. We should get a move on. Go get the rest of your sleep.
And I'm going to go and you can't move a sleeping cat. That's not a choice I have.
Yeah,
Right?
look how my arms are right now.
So I get back over to my bedroll and it's still got a cat on it. So I'm just gonna like cozy in next to Quill and we're just gonna share the bedroll. It's gonna be fun.
I like it.
My arms are so tired. Like, they're not rested on anything.
Yeah.
I am just awkwardly holding this cat, and this is what life is like.
Dern is lazily like splayed out, massive maw, tongue lazed out to the side. And he's like, jeez. Yeah.
Bad sleep apnea. He has horrible sleep apnea.
You thought his stomach.
When you've got a neck circumference that big, it just happens. Quill's what, 4'3", you said?
He's about 4'3" if he's standing really tall.
Yeah. Standing up on his paws.
Yeah.
So is Agnes trying to like lie next to him, but like, did
Yeah,
you lose your blanket kind of thing?
Yeah.
I lost my blanket, but I've only got like 45 minutes left in my sleep, so I mean.
Well, Hoots is gonna, from his own bedroll, grab his blanket and drape it kind of over top of you while you're lying there.
Oh,
I like it.
sweet.
And Hoots, we haven't talked about your magical tinkerings at all.
We have not.
Those are generally processed through some downtime,
Mhm.
where when you get some quiet moments to yourself. Did you have anything in mind for some of the things that he wants to have with him produce?
Well, as I understand magical tinkering, and I've never played an artificer, so we're learning new things altogether. I think we talked about how we were gonna do it. What was your rule of thumb again?
All right. So the ability itself says you can make basically an object that emits sound, nonverbal sounds. You can make things that make you can make a moving picture frame that shows pictures. You get 3 of them basically,
Okay.
but the general gist is it's very minor magical properties. So if you had something like prestidigitation can light a campfire, if you made a Zippo and went yeah, and you get a little flame, that's totally magical tinkering, right?
Yeah, and
If you wanted an easy button that you tap and it says that was easy, that is absolutely a magical tinkering.
So he's just magically tinkering himself in the night?
I actually think Hoots is definitely going to magically tinker himself a little Zippo. I think that's definitely something that would be in the realm of reality of things he would create for himself.
It is practical, pragmatic, and yeah, totally within the realms. Likewise, a little USB powered fan, totally magical tinkering. If you're like, it's fucking hot here.
these feathers do nothing.
These feathers do not. Milk was a bad choice.
I miss having a butthole.
So
I will say,
have we established if you know how to poop yet or not? You weren't sure either after 30 days.
as an owlin, you do technically poop little streams of white, but all of the hard stuff comes out your mouth.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Canon. It's canon.
Just on
Those aren't good berries.
When you subsist on a solid diet of nothing but good berries, there's no solids that come out of you anyway. It's all
Okay. Moving along here. We don't want to lose watchers. Let's.
all right. So yeah, as you
a little just basically, and then before everyone wakes up, it's just gonna be
yeah. I was
no food in
gonna
this
reach and grab one of those, but cool. I like it. Got me covered. So everybody is now perpetually fucking annoyed as you're ching ching ting 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 ting. For the
oh god,
God,
now
I've
it's-
created a monster.
now it smells like nothing but
Butane
Zippo
and-
fluid.
Yeah, I've
That was
created
a
monsters.
mistake.
Roll me a perception check, please, as you finish off your watch. You are
7.
so engrossed, and Agnes, you probably lightly dozed because you only had a little bit of sleep, and you "Ugh," and those loud popping sounds start coming out, and everybody starts to rise. And Hoots, you're almost a little surprised at how easily everybody comes up and claps you on the shoulder, and you're like, ah. you were a little engrossed in something. Yeah. Almost a little sheepish.
Yeah.
Dern's a little bit morning grumpy as he's just stretching out and stuff like that, and he's like, "There's no stairs to climb. How am I supposed to get my morning exercises?"
Squats.
Just starts doing squats to the side of the camp, basically. Gotta build those natural oils.
He glistens.
Is he silver, or is it just the light shining off of him?
Nobody knows.
His black blanket has a satin sheen to it, but it's just regular cotton.
So bad. That's what we come here for. Dungeons and Dragons and bodily fluids. So, It's not just all viscera and blood. So, you get your morning in. Agnes, you have 20 good berries in your possession. The
Holy
ones
shit.
from previous days have long since faded
Oh yes, thank you.
because of their, lifespan.
Uh-oh.
It'll be a rolling clock on how many you have on those. Get up in the morning. The pot scrapings have been suitably scraped. There's like tongue marks and long snout marks through it. Yeah.
There's just
break camp.
crust of like stew on his face.
Yeah.
What?
You break camp. Not every watch is going to be time intensive, but it's important to give you guys a chance to talk to each other. And you just hear that fucking noise. It'll never stop. And Dern's stomach rumbles. You strike camp, pack everything up, and the road is just a little ways off, and is yours to follow.
I'm probably flammable now, by the way.
All right. If
if burst
David
into
catches on fire on stream, it is not our plan.
So, I think we keep going this way, right, Quill? Quill,
You
you're
are muted.
I, being so good at getting directions, point to the lake, and I go, I suppose we just keep following the border.
I nod and I'd
Very,
start.
very proud of myself for my very good instruction to get around the lake by following the edge of the lake.
I like it.
I rip out the pins of the tent and help pack up, and we head going down the road.
I like it.
Hoots is like, I'm pretty sure this one's bent now.
I'm imagining the pins just like he reefs on it and they just fly everywhere. One falls in the lake and we go, well, that's gone.
Following that path.
Haven't camped very much.
You are certainly not observing leave no trace rules here with the gouge marks in the ground. Also, the population of two-legged things here is not nearly as impactful as it is in our actual world. Poop where you like, no trowel required. So, as you continue, the land starts to shift a little bit. On both sides of to the right of you, because you're walking south, you've got your large lake, and the path kind of winds slowly away from the lake, and through a little copse of trees, and then a little more, some aspen. Things start to get a little gnarled and woody, as we not Woody Harrelson, and not Woody Allen, just Woody.
Oh,
Mac. And you start to see twistings in all of the flora and fauna. And I'm just gonna grab this, throw it back to the map layer. Oh, wrong one. There we go.
sorry, the giant hoots in the middle of the swampy lake is still just getting me.
No, I'm leaving it there. You can't make me take it away. I feel like that's actually what it looks like. Is he's just like,
It's just a little bit of water. It's fine.
we need to protect him.
Like,
Don't let him die. I'll roll up a level 3 battle master that can do tripping attack on you in the sky, so you fall and take all that falling damage and immediately die. I mean, that's the thing. So, the lake is way over here, where I'm pinging on the screen, way back, and as you're coming along, it's starting to get a little boggy to the left of you, and you're walking through. and there's lots of chittering, kind of like the things that you hear now. Birds. There's this long-legged sort of wren-like bird, like an what is it, Elvis? Elvis, I think.
Yes.
And a handful of them, and you look off to one side and you just see it fucking eaten by a gator, like gone. And then the gator like looks at you lazily and like drags its like fluttering body down under the water, and it looks like mud again. And before you see, as you continue along the path, and it's reasonably wide. Bum 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 bum. There we go. You see a large 2-story stone home with a larger outbuilding just off the side, and a little bit of smoke billowing out of one of the main chimneys. And just, it's off the side of the road. The road kind of terminates around this place, as though everybody who takes this road south is probably coming around here. Or the road has been made by people constantly coming back and forth to this spot. You guys have a reasonable passive perception. You can see a couple other footpaths that go off into the swamp. But yeah, big old house. I'm not moving him. In fact, no, I am gonna move him. He's gonna be here. He's waiting by the tombstones for everyone.
I can't wait for all the rest of the characters.
Yeah, this has been amazing.
Gosh.
The Eternal Hoots. Streamlabs keeps timing things out automatically. We should adjust that at some point. Yeah, big, large 2-story house, smoke billowing out of it. Forgive the modern aesthetic. There's downspouts and stuff, but it's probably like a bamboo derivative. From what you guys see.
Dern's just going to approach the house and knock on the door.
Yeah, I walk up with Dern. Just
Yeah. Yes. I mean, obviously, yes. I just rap on the door and I go, so is this the tailor? This has been a long walk to the tailors. I thought they would have one in town. I really did. Rap, 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 rap.
I believe he's the best at what he does.
Why else would you live off in a creepy old swamp?
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's not completely swamp, but
I feel like at this point, Agnes would start trying to explain that we're not going to a tailor, and I don't know why you keep talking about a tailor, but then he knocks on the door, and then
opening the door is a pale-skinned wisp of girl. Looks to be about 14. Barefoot, a knee-length sundress, and Agnes and Hoots, at every single one of her joints, wrist, elbow, shoulder, every finger socket, there's a crease that shouldn't be there.
Dern?
Hello, young girl. How are you doing today?
Dern, take 3 steps back.
I look to Hoots and I go, but she's obviously the seamstress's daughter.
Can I?
Or seamster, I should say. I am trying to be more politically correct. Apparently, I've been told by the Paladin School.
Oh gosh.
You think with all the animoobs, that
So,
wouldn't be the
If
case.
he's not picking up on this, and they are, am I? So I know what toys are and stitching. Am I picking up on anything that is
Roll an Roll an insight check for me.
I can do that.
There's a lot of weirdos in this world. That's a 19. She is absolutely a marionette of some kind, brought to life but by something, and has answered the door when you knocked on it.
Okay.
I am instantly like, ah! And I like picking up on what's going on. Like, I'm used to toys being small, and I'm picking up that this seems like a toy, and it's big. It's probably bigger than I am. And
Oh yeah.
Please stop there. That's terrifying. I just like kind of back up and I kind of grab Dern and I'm just like trying to back up and pull him as I'm going.
Can I?
Hello.
Greetings, strange young woman.
Hard no.
I like
You're-
Dern and I'm like, nope. And I keep backing up.
Can I make a wisdom check to see if Dern even notices what the hell is going on?
Yeah, go for it. Roll me an insight check.
Oh, insight. Oops, that was a wisdom save. Let me roll. Oh, of course I
Different thing.
20. 3.
That's 3. She is obviously startled by your massive brilliance,
Oh,
and
of course.
just seems to have a twitch about her.
Oh, you know what? That is a normal. What you are experiencing is very normal after seeing my beautiful body and face.
I. I'm sorry. Looking up at you.
Who are we seeing here? As I turn around to Hoots.
We need to speak
and
to
Agnes.
her father.
Hoots is gonna tuck Quill behind him. Like, just like wings and all, like hiding Quill. Like, just like straight up, like, no.
I am 100% still standing at the door, and I look at them, and I just go, "Yes, I would like to speak to your father, please."
Oh. Problem. And
Problem?
These are not human movements in any way, shape, or form, and like, it looks like a camera going in reverse, and you see she slowly starts walking back, swaying her arms in a backward motion, as though in reverse of a normal human being walking, moving their hands. And she like slowly steps back, moonwalking into a room, and turns and starts moving this way. And there's an open doorway before you. Looking inside is a well-lit, open common room sort of deal.
No.
There's a
Dern?
table with a couple of chairs
Go ahead.
and a warmly lit fireplace, because it's actually a fireplace because we're inside a house. Mac. There's all manner of like clippings and herbs and jars and bottles and things up neatly categorized along walls, and a spattering of books here and there.
Now
Please,
I
go ahead.
know, and now I know Dern is not a smart creature. However, after seeing something out of The Exorcist, I'm pretty sure Dern might be like, "That's not fucking normal."
And she cranks her head around 180 degrees and says, "Your mother sucks cocks in hell," and like keeps walking away.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
not actually.
Yeah,
Pump-
not actually. What?
Exorcist references always.
Yes.
Hoots is just gonna straight up go like, pump the brakes, Dern. We're not going in that house.
But they
Somebody
do have a
might
lovely
be-
collection.
Agnes.
Somebody might be in danger.
No.
I
No.
pull my hammer out.
Dern,
Dern,
the
it's
person
not
that's going to be in
polite. danger
danger is you. Agnes, their collection's really nicely, and we can sample what it smells like when we set the house on fire and leave.
Okay.
Speaking of smell,
Politeness.
Quill.
Oh.
It is musty and moldy and earthen. Like you get a whiff of must and mold and earth and jewels.
Jewels?
Jewels is inside.
Like jewels is in like gems and.
The old man that teaches you things, Jewels.
Oh,
The
sorry.
fella you were sent to find.
Yes. I Because I haven't entered the house yet. Correct? I'm still
Correct.
outside.
You are behind Mama Hoots.
I kind of like whisper up to Hoots, and I'm like, I think Jules is in there, and I don't think she's okay. I think there's a problem, and I'm kind of scared.
Now, Hoots is gonna like unfold and like get back down to Quill's level and go, "Are you sure?"
I trust my nose pretty good, and I smell. It's kind of like when mushrooms get moldy in the forest, but like really bad.
Hoots
I'd
is
like
gonna
to look.
go. No, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'd like to back up just a little bit and just take a look at the windows above us. See if there's anybody in the window.
The windows that you're looking at, like the image is a reasonable facsimile of what I'm trying to convey. There are several glass windows in the house. Where you saw her like step to is on the far side of the house.
Okay.
But you don't see any movement or anything like that from where you're standing.
Okay.
I think that we.
And I kind of have this like moment of like, I want to leave, but I've also been told that I can achieve greatness. So I was like,
I think we should leave, but I also
Indoctrination.
think we should go inside.
I look to Hoots and to Angus, and I go,
Angus.
Angus? Sorry, what did I say? Oh God,
You said Angus.
I did say Angus.
She's bringing.
We
the
haven't
beef.
we haven't quite given Agnes the belt of
Agnes.
gender bending yet.
Sorry, Angus.
Not a cloak.
My friends call me Eggy.
Eggy.
I think it's a corset actually.
Eggy. Hoots. Are we going in?
We
I
can't leave
Have the
without
hammer
this.
out my side.
I will peep up from my quiet whisper and go,
I'll be honest. Jules is in there, but he kind of smells like moldy mushrooms.
The covenant says we help. If he's in there and hurt, we help.
I nod,
When a friend needs a
And-
hand, you help him out.
and Dern walks in.
okay.
All right. You step into this place.
Hammer at my side, not drawn, if you will.
Alright.
Like
Yeah. You
Yeah.
got it in the loop. Yeah.
I got it in the loop, and I have my hammer like ready to pull out.
You built a shield on, I imagine, or something like that.
Yeah.
You step into this large, like it's a good like 20 foot by 15 foot or so. Like it looks like people live here. It's well polished floors, well lit. It's not quite gas lamps, but there's fire inside a glass container on each of the walls, of a low white. It looks like a gas lamp essentially.
Right.
And as you step in, there's two doors, or like two ways that you can go. One is going up the stairs, and another is through an archway into another back room, so to
Right.
speak, on the same level. There's no door preventing you from getting over there. And as you kind of slowly creep in and look around the corner, Quill, you see Jules splayed out on a bed with this marionette girl raising her hand up and bringing it down quickly with a rag and wiping sweat from his face. And over off in the corner, you see all of Jules's equipment, and it's wrong. It all smells wrong. It's musty, and it's got a mold smell to it. And he kind of does too.
Is he visibly like breathing?
He is, and his face is twisted, and he is a mess of sweat. He's in his shirt sleeves at this point, and he's just like kind of writhing.
And the
Like, you
girl
s-
is standing beside him?
She's leaning over him, like mopping his forehead. And she's got a small bucket or like a basin of water, and it's just like trying to keep him comfortable by the looks of it.
Yeah. Can I roll to see if I think there's anything nefarious? Like, do I get any like keen senses kind of thing here with anything that's going on?
How would Quill look at that? From like an instinct sort of thing, or from like something that you learned?
It's more of just like even just like a general being thing where you get this feeling of uneasiness, but you can tell when the
Vibe check.
feeling of uneasiness is like legitimate or if you're just kind of like
Yeah.
unsure.
That'd be an insight. Roll me a vibe check.
Okay.
Can we just make a game where there is something called a vibe check?
I like it. It's insight going forward is now vibe checks.
Well,
Yeah.
unfortunately, I did not hit the vibe.
That is a natural one. You're just
Hmm.
so this person, Julian Sander, the Ranger Extraordinaire,
Mm-hmm.
has always been strong and reliable in a rock.
Yes.
And this is the first. It's like seeing your dad fall for the first time and hurt themselves when you're a kid,
Mhm.
and it's just like it shakes you a little bit.
Yeah. I see this. I can't really tell what's going on, and I look to the girl, and I'm like, "Did you do this to him?"
She like, no.
What? And I like move forward.
I'm
So
gonna
get
grab
up to him?
him. I'm not gonna let him go near Jules.
Can I do a dex check to try and get away from that?
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? I'd like. Are you using a magic sling bullet? What is that?
Accident?
Oh,
Maybe.
roll me Hoots. Roll me grapple. Roll me a grapple check or an athletics check, and Quill either athletics or acrobatics, please. You're beating a 10 because that's
let's-
all Hoots has.
Do acrobatics.
And with the
That's
20, the
Succeed.
cat is like, "Fuck you!"
It's the thing where you go to pet them and their backs just arch.
Yeah, it's like nope.
And I
But
like
because cats, Kyle Hill will tell you, cats are the fourth state of matter. Fifth
Yes.
state of matter, sorry.
I like liquid away from you like I'm
Yeah.
like a
Wow.
wave. And I bounce kind of under and I get up really close. I get up towards Jules and I'm like, Jules, are you okay?
She specifically, as you get close, she like and grabs you by the hand before you touch him. And she says, please, don't. He
And I kind
is
of like,
ill.
what's wrong with him?
She lets you go. And the fingers just like,
Well,
Maybe
Like,
we can
what's
we
wrong
help?
with him?
ill.
There's a lot of things to be ill about. What is he ill from?
Her hand snaps back and it goes immediately past your face. Like her arm got longer than it should be all of a sudden, and it's pointing towards his equipment. Agnes, roll me either a nature or a medicine check, please. That is a natural 20, my friends.
It is.
First,
That's
is it
the first of the
one?
campaign, I think, isn't it?
Oh,
I think so.
It might be.
Yeah.
It's definitely
We
not
got
the first
Agnes?
nat one.
This is something
I
that
was the first.
you have you've not seen in person, but you recognize based on your studies with Antifar. This is a thing called russet mold. It's kind of this reddish brown. It almost looks like rust on Jules's gear, but leather doesn't rust. Bowstrings don't rust. Anything that comes within 5 feet of russet mold has to make a save, or the spores of it go inside the person. They become diseased. A little bit of homebrewing here. While they're diseased, they basically take poison damage until they die, and erupting from their body are creatures called veggie pygmies. little plant people. It's treatable. It's kind of hard to treat. Fire doesn't work. Radiant damage, acid damage will kill a square foot of it at a time. Gallons of alcohol can kill a square foot. But it's essentially a magical-based disease. Sunlight can have an effect on it, but it's overcast and cloudy and gloomy here. So you recognize it immediately and understand why this marionette stopped Quill from touching Jules.
Is the marionette covered in this? Or I guess I wouldn't know.
Yeah. Yeah, same.
Specifically, no, she does not seem to have any rust coloration to her. The more you look at her, the more she is absolutely one of those creepy Annabelle dolls that has like kind of pale porcelain skin. Anybody who has Arcana proficiency can roll it.
Oh, wow.
I think that might just be Hoots.
That is.
Yeah.
I definitely have it.
It's not me.
Nope, I've got athletics.
That's a
12.
wow. That's a hell of an upgrade for the 12. But yeah.
Yeah. Hoots, you remember a conversation with Cal, specifically around like he's got a little servant, a little sock puppet that walks around.
Yeah.
That like occasionally makes people better. One day he showed you how it shoots laser beams from its mouth. And he loads it up with like scorching rays and it's like pew 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 pew. That so there's absolutely a precedent for like animating things. And the sock puppet it's not like playing a chess match with you. Or like being like it's not quoting Shakespeare, but it's like hello, and it can like kind of communicate simple ideas. This thing is twitchy as hell, but it seems to have much more physical or verbal capabilities than you would expect.
Would I know it to be some kind of construct? Like, obviously, I'd be able to make the connection between it and the sock puppet, but would that be?
Yeah, that's kind of the gist that you get. It's likely a construct,
Okay.
as Eric understands them.
I would relay that, and it would be like, now she appears to be some kind of animated doll, and I think usually when we're seeing stuff like this, it's stuff like what Cal does. It's like his puppet.
I want to ask the marionette, how long does he have? How long has he been like this? Like, I know enough about the mold to have a general idea.
3 days. 3 days. I try and keep him healthy. Running out of steam.
Running out of steam.
So something I need clarification on. From what I understand about the mold, if I keep his hit points up, like if I keep him generally healthy, does it stop it, or is it waiting for them to grow strong enough to get out?
Yep. Essentially, if he dies, his corpse will become compost for these creatures. You notice he kind of like twists a little bit, and you see her flash for a moment, and where her hand was, it just like pops up and off, and like rolls all the way back. And there's a little black gem in there, and she just kind of like holds it close. It's Spare the Dying. And she's essentially been casting Spare the Dying on him every 6 seconds.
Oh my god.
For however long that you took to get here. Or since he got here.
Can I cast Lay on Hands on him?
Are you trying to... So it is a disease. You could... I believe it's 5 points for
Yeah,
level
it's
1.
5 points per level. And I'm only level 1, obviously, right now.
Yeah.
But-
Let me just double check. Yeah. Spending of all 5 points would neutralize a disease or multiple poisons. So that is a thing that you could do.
I will do that.
What does that look like? Like what's Dern's magic look like?
Dern's magic is very, very especially for lay on hands and his other paladin skills that he will be getting, is very loud per se. Like it's not like loud volume wise, but just
It's
loud.
overt. It's overt. Yeah.
It's overdone. He's been learning from weebs for the past month and a bit.
All right. I
Yeah,
gotta take some creative license on this. So like Dern, he goes to puts his hands together, and you see like 37 alchemy circles burst out from around him.
Yeah,
And like, if he had hair, it would be billowing in the wind.
yeah.
Like,
The cloak that he has just is like fluttering and like all that. Like
His
there's a big presence of energy, and then 5 hit points.
oil is glistening.
Yeah,
His
yeah.
oil
The
is
oil's glistening. And just. And I will spend all 5 on that.
And you see this. What color is his energy? Is it like that silvery sort of?
Oh yeah, no, it is silvered. It is more metallic than his actual scales and stuff like that,
Cool.
but more of that bright, glittery silver, as if you put liquid sparkles
Oh yeah.
and you just spun it around, and you basically just kind of see like a liquidy kind of silver come out from his hands.
And it pushes out through your hands down into his body. And you see, like, this old man kind of convulse on the table, and to use the same analogy, it looks like something you pulled out of the drain when you're cleaning out the bathtub, and it's this big, long, black ball of. It looks like spun up seaweed,
Yep.
with little like plant roots and stuff in it. Coughs it out into a bucket, and he just like, and he's unconscious. He's
Wonderful.
okay.
I take that bucket and I put it outside very gingerly.
And
I think
for
we chose a good friend.
if an animated doll come to life to ruin your dreams could like look relaxed all of a sudden, you just hear like a as she like eases back a bit.
Perfect. And you know what? Dern just goes, "Oh, must be a very good seamster if this is worth all this trouble for this."
I would like to thank you, Mr. Dragon Man. I am at the end of my life for your friend. My father will be angry.
What? Dern just goes, "Is this not your father?"
And she like, no, this is Jules Sander, a ranger from the womb. I am Switch. My father is Al Dasim.
And I'm going to quickly turn to her and say, so are you helping him, or are you making this happen?
Helping. I understand enough. I'm gonna jump in and be like, helping. She was helping.
But then why would her father be mad that he's saved?
Because she's dying. This is where I will ask Hoots if the artificer knows how to help the construct. But Hoots is pause, please. Well,
I will say, based on what you did with the lay on hands, the equipment was close enough that you just saw it kind of like wash over, and everything just like crumbled and dusted out, and there's a noticeable like black soot on the ground.
Ugh.
Where the mold and stuff was removed.
Ugh.
And she says, I have not rested in several days, and little known fact in Dungeons and or Dragons, even constructs need to take long rests, even if we do not sleep.
Then
So,
take a
okay.
long rest.
You said that her father's going to be mad because we helped Jules?
No, because she's been helping Jules.
Whoa.
Oh.
I have pushed myself too far, to the point of exhaustion. and I am expensive to repair. And repair. And like one eye just kind of closes and stops working.
Rest.
Switch, you should sleep.
I think she is.
Could I reasonably repair some of the damages?
You get a little closer. Roll me an investigation check.
That's a 24.
You're like, ugh, I'll take a crack. I fixed a, you know.
I can fix a toaster, I can fix a mannequin. Let's do this.
And you like, I feel like you get like a Swiss Army knife out or something like that, like something real mundane, and she doesn't have screw holes or plates or anything like that, and like she's just like not moving, and suddenly one eye looks at you, but the other one stays looking down that way, and she says, "I am a simulacrum of a small child, and I believe it takes expensive reagents to perform repairs. Father will be displeased. Jules is a fine human being. He's nice. He brings flowers sometimes. But I have expended my capabilities."
All right. Then Durin's going to take. I take it like the machine's kind of just shut down a little bit right now for the mannequin.
She hasn't moved from her like sort of. Oh, sorry. That's really aggressive. She's like, no, that's a little too jaunty. She's like, yeah.
I take it. I will pick up the mannequin and put it on another spot to rest.
She's like, there is a couch over there.
Kind of what I was aiming for. Yes.
Lays her down. She's like, I must rest. Jules must rest. Spores must die.
Yeah. Do I notice or anything that is like that thing that he coughed up? It's dead.
Dern took it outside in the bucket. You want to go look at it?
Do I sense anything else in the house?
Roll a perception check.
Yes, ma'am.
It is madam.
Oops. Well,
No,
they're both 21s. I actually rolled twice, but they're both 21s.
double 21s. You give it a sniff. This place smells weird. Like there's all manner of like you're picking up on something. It's really like acrid, and like there's dried herbs. There's essentially spell components here, there, and everywhere.
If I'm, I would
Alchemical
have been here
experiment.
before, correct?
You have not.
Okay. Is it anything that seems out of place?
It's hard to say for Quill. There's certainly no other people in the house right now.
People being everywhere. Okay.
Like
so-
she's talking about her father, Aldecim.
Yes.
You
Is
don't
she still
smell
is
anybody.
she still responsive at all?
She is.
Can I ask? I'm gonna ask her like, is there anything else here we should be worried about?
Home is safe.
What's not safe?
Home is safe.
But what's not safe?
Jules's tent. I believe he said he was attacked in the swamp.
Where's the
Left
swamp?
left everything behind.
Where's the swamp?
Up the path is where Jules was staying, collecting, gathering herbs.
I'm gonna turn back to you guys and go. We gotta go to the swamp. There's no other way.
There's-
We go to the
There's
swamp.
noticeably no golden sickle with Jules's equipment.
That's what I was about to say. I need to heal
And-
Jules and
and-
check. The
No
body.
big old bag of mistletoe harvested in the moonlight.
I'm not even like. not even focusing on our mission at hand. I've seen jewels like this, and I'm just like ready to kill whatever has done this. I'm like, we go to swamp, we find his stuff, we kill stuff.
If it means protecting the innocent, Dern stands up from his kneeling position. Then we go! And he just starts to march towards the door.
I'm following him
Right now.
I'm saying, I'm like, if he's stable, Jules, and I kind of turn back to Jules. I'm like, Jules, you're gonna be okay, okay?
Jules is at 0 hit points and unconscious, but yes.
I would like to cast Healing Word on Jules.
When you expend lay on hands to remove disease, it doesn't actually heal the hit points. So
No.
yeah, a healing word would work, or a good berry.
I was
Or
gonna say, can I give him? I'm gonna go up.
Oh
to
yeah,
one of my good berries that I was holding
good
out of my
berries.
pocket, and I'm gonna like, kind of like two little claws and just like, and kind of put it in his mouth and go. This will make you feel better, and you'll feel great in no time.
It's the first meal that he's had in 3 days, and he immediately like gets some color back to his face.
Oof, his stomach.
Not unlike the sunburn that James is rocking after a weekend of hiking.
Friends, are you coming?
That was much better. That was much better.
I kind of like give him the little like panicky kind of pat on the chest, and I go, "Oh, coming!" And I like run out the door towards Dern because I am just like, we gonna figure this out.
And with that, he looks much more at ease. His breathing is less ragged, and you give a faint look to like the bucket that's out on the porch, and it's not moving at all. It's just like a little like, it looks like something you'd pull out of the drain, honestly.
Can I mentioned I'd wanting to know if it was alive. Can I, as I pass by it,
It's not moving.
that doesn't mean anything in the world of D&D.
Sure. What would
can
you
I-
like to do to invest? Do you want to
I'm-
lick it? Do you want to lick it?
No, I'm gonna roll. Can I like? I want to know if this thing is actively alive and growing, or will
Roll a
we be
medicine
fucking
check to check on the physical state of a being, on whether or not it's alive.
17.
You take a moment, grab a piece of firewood, you poke it. It doesn't move. You poke it some more, and it doesn't move. You like squish it, and it goes, and it's not moving.
I'm gonna pick up the bucket.
It looks like a moldy, piece of fruit or a moldy vegetable that got scooshed.
Cool. I'm just gonna pick up the bucket and move it farther away from the house as we're walking, and kind of just set it down.
Jinx, you owe me a soda.
I don't know what you said.
No, David.
Oh. And I'm going to do that, and I'm going to catch up to Dern again and start heading out towards the woods.
All right. And you gather your party before venturing forth up a small path leading off into the swamp. Hoots, with his hands on his hips.
Like a scout leader.
I love
All
it.
right, kids, it's time to go out into the wilderness.
Who
In this
can
very safe camp place.
So here I was thinking he was about to do the time warp.
And with that, we'll call it for the night, I think. That seems like a good stopping point.
Okey doke.
So
That was a blast. Thank you, James.
I
so
have
far
one
so
more
good.
Gift then for, I'll put it in our chat, but I figured this made more sense after the comments that were made.
Oh. Is that in the chat of the Discord?
Yeah.
Ah, yeah. Where the hell are those damn combat croc? I love it. If you're not a member of our Discord, please follow the link that Stream Elements is sharing to gain access. And you can find such amazing pictures as, Hoots in a croc store thinking to himself.
There's also in the background calling security.
There is that.
Sir, I don't know what to tell you. There is an owl man in my store looking for Crocs.
I like it.
I swear to God.
Can we throw that Tiltify link in the chat one more time for anyone who's currently watching?
Absolutely.
Anyone
Bear
who's
with me half a sec.
still kind of here, we are running a charity event again for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Last time we had crazy watch numbers and hit a really cool goal for funding, for donations, and we're trying to do the exact same thing. And we might have a few surprises from a couple of sponsors. I can't say anything yet because it's potentially in the works, but there's a lot of cool stuff that could be happening for people that join in and watch. So make sure to check us out. I believe on the
24th.
24th
Sunday, April 24th.
at same time.
No, at 4 p.m. on Sunday, April 24th, right here on Twitch at Legends of Logomancy.
Heck yeah! And it won't
April
be its usual
24th.
cast. There will be different characters and a couple different people.
I will not be there.
That is correct.
There we go.
You shall not be there.
I jumped for a second as I loaded up Twitch.
But
There we go.
there are amazing players. So please do come and check it out.
Here we go.
Tiltify link down in there if you want to do any of the pre-donating. Anything you donate now will also get added to the pool. So if you donate for an extra dice, I want to note, if you donate the dice to us, it's really, really helpful. It allows me to roll 6 extra dice as opposed to James rolling 6 extra dice. And absolutely rocking shit.
Counter rebuttal. If you give me the dice, I can murder them outright.
I will be personally donating dice to James because I wasn't invited, and I feel very sad and left out.
You were invited. It's just Tracy got back to us first.
It's fine. I understand.
So for what I'm hearing is it's James's fault that you didn't get invited, and you should give those dice to us.
What kind of shit was that? You're like, James did me harm. I'm gonna help him. No,
As you can see, it's going to be exceptional.
Oh yeah.
Please show up. If you can donate, amazing. If you can't, come into the chat, join it. It's going to be a ton of fun.
I'm gonna try and get Tonk killed. No, I mean what?
David, do you want to give us another a little raid as we head out?
Yeah, let's definitely find somebody. Does anybody have anyone we want to send out to before I find somebody?
Nobody comes to mind right off the hop, but
I actually have one here. There's a good group of people. Oh, they're not D&D related. Never mind. We'll do them later then.
What's a good D&D one? Let me pick one at random here.
I found one called the Grouch Couch, and I like it. I just right on first impressions, I see some awesome wigs, and it's called Drunks and Dragons, and I like it.
Oh, I like that idea.
Oh, we also got a request in for -2 charisma in chat.
Well, let's take a look.
-2 charisma. I mean, that's just a great name.
There's also one where everyone's in costume, it looks like, called Out of the Abyss.
Out of the abyss.
Thank you. Oh, where are they?
-2 looks like they've got. Looks like they're playing Curse of Strahd. So yeah, we've got the Grouch Couch, who's all in cosplay, or we've got -2 charisma. Do we have a?
Hold on, we need to roll for this because I mean, come on, we're a D&D campaign here.
This is true. This is true.
All right, so we have 3. I've only got a 20-sided die, so are we going odds, evens?
I'm going to leverage the power of roll 20.
He's got a dice in hand.
I'm going to roll a 1d3.
What do we get?
Okay, who equates to what?
Dude, roll a d6, and
Okay.
1 and a 2.
Fine.
1 and a 2 will go with Grouch Couch.
Okay.
3 and a 4 will go with -2 charisma, and a 5 and a 6 will go with what was the other one?
It was Out of the Abyss, session 15.
What'd you get?
We got a 6.
Okay.
I like it.
All right.
the thing here, into the thing.
Out of
Uretsu.
the abyss. Do you want to send me the link really quickly? 'Cause
I
I'm
already
not...
did.
Cool.
Just did into Discord.
He was already on top of it.
Can't see the thorny stuff?
No.
I mean,
So-
You're on your
you
app.
can do a
Whoa. Oh. I picked up their stream through yours.
That was me. Yeah, I'm gonna mute myself while I listen
Okay.
to that.
Well, then what we're gonna do is we're gonna raid out to these lovely folks. Okay, so for those of you that are hanging out in chat looking to go, what we're gonna do is we're gonna send the love out to an amazing group of people. So when you get there, I want you to hype up. They might not see it because like a D&D stream like us, while they may be watching chat, they may not have the same energy. But at the same time, go in there, give them some love, and by all means, if you love their content, please follow them. 3,
Make sure
2,
to follow us, too.
1.
Bye,
I'll catch you on the
everybody.
flip side.
Bye, guys.
New song. I'm thinking about calling it.
Okay, so the raid should go out.
Holy Mountains?
BYOF.
Should be having very hard
Bring your
time
own
forming
flagons.
thought.
It was a lot of fun.
Congratulations again.
But it failed.
Alright, I'm gonna roll damage. It gets disadvantage on its next attack, full damage again. And I'm going to bonus action inspire. Who's closer? Is a Quill or Anazira at this point? I can't see.
Anazira is closer.
Anazira is closer. I'm gonna bardically inspire Anazira.
buff me, daddy.
Yeah, and I say